And we are live, in theory. Fantastic. Oh, I see us actually on YouTube already. So we are live. Can we hear you guys?
Fancy.
Let's do a sound test.
Sound test.
Cinnamon vines.
Sound test 1, 2, 3.
All right.
Cinnamon vines.
So-
Fantastic. Heyo. We see everyone. Hello, everyone.
Everyone.
How's it going?
Hello.
Well,
It's awesome. Thank you for
exciting.
asking.
Hi, everyone saying hi to me. You know, that's how we
so
do.
easy to do. It's just like, everyone together. There you go.
Yeah, just, everyone. How's it going? All right. Getting started here in a moment. How many folks we got on here?
541 people live right now.
That's significantly more than 10 for anyone who doesn't do math out there.
It is.
Yes.
Mike, your math skills are great.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, most math is just, is it larger or is it smaller? One way or the other. Bigger than 10, smaller than 10.
Covers all your bases there. What if it is 10?
Well, we just ignore 10s. Right?
Oh, okay.
We
Well,
tend to not
10.
pay attention to those.
Oh,
Poor 10.
or 10.
That's right. Fantastic. Well, this has been a great conversation. You guys should have heard the conversation before we went live.
No.
We ready to start? Elena, what do you think? We'll leave it up to you.
I think we should get going. Don't make me the slave driver right from the start.
Whoa.
Mostly, Trevor, just
Geez.
planning.
Man, all right.
You just have to plan.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Mike Geig, and welcome to your first Game Jam. If this is not your first Game Jam, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because this one is only for your first Game Jam participants. I'm joking. Don't leave. I'm just kind of watching the numbers right now, just waiting for like half the people to be like, well, fine then. That's what you get. We're leaving then. Here with me are several fantastic folks. We've got Elena, Soaryn, and Roman. Why don't you kick us off, Elena, and introduce yourself?
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I get to work in my day job with the fabulous Mr. Mike Geig at Unity. And I look after incredible community creators like Roman here, like Soaryn, and many, many others that actually create fantastic learning tutorials for you guys to watch on YouTube as you are starting your journey with Unity. So thanks for being here with us.
All right. Well, Soaryn, we'll let you go next.
Hi, I'm Soaryn. I have a channel on Twitch as a partner broadcaster. I play mostly games, but we use Unity in perhaps a very odd way. We use it for production value rather than necessarily games.
Fantastic.
Fun times with that.
And Roman, round us off here.
Hey guys, so nice to hear you all, and thank you so much for having me. My name's Roman, and I come from a humble European country, Latvia. I have a YouTube channel where I primarily document my agony as I try to navigate the game dev world and finish my first commercial indie title. I'm also doing occasional Unity tutorial, and there'll be more of that pretty soon.
Fantastic. The agony of game development. That's what we're all about. Here at Unity, we're all about the agony of game development. Fantastic. For the folks in the watching live right now, too, do let us know if the volume balance, myself versus everyone else, is good, or if any of us need to be turned up or whatever. That would be awesome. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So today we are messing around with what you can see here. This is the karting micro game. We're gonna take this game, all right, and we're going to modify it, do a bunch of cool stuff to it, make it weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. Knowing the way I make games, I'm gonna make this really weird. You guys can make it a little less weird or more. It's entirely up to you. And by the end of it, you're gonna have a game that you've built, modified here, that you'll be able to share with friends. And it's funny because I know that before we had been specifying that you should pick 10 friends to share with, and then at the beginning of the stream we were talking about how 10 doesn't count, we ignore it. So pick either 9 or 11 friends to share with. It'll be like one of those old chain emails, pick your 10 people and forward this, or else you'll have a bunch of bad luck. So we don't want that. So definitely share your games.
Now you're realizing how important that 10 is, aren't you?
Right? You know what?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It just feels like, I really did not think that one through. So, that's how it happens. So the reason we're kind of doing this, specifically with this game and with you fine folks, is a lot of times, Unity can be a little daunting because there's so much you can do with it. And so we find it a lot easier to take a project that already exists, in this case, this karting microgame, and modify it to kind of learn how to make stuff, how things work together, and how to build some really cool things. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to build some really, really cool things using common Unity functionality, and you're going to see that firsthand. Elena, anything you want to go over? Oh, that was perfect. You were right on. I'll trust you in the future. My apologies.
Yeah, Mike, I don't know if you know, we've done this a few times. All right, guys. So for all of you that are here with us right now, which is over 500 people, we're almost actually at 600. It's incredible. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. It means a lot to us. And so, as Mike said, this game jam is for beginners. And even if you've been here before, first or second time, don't worry, still stick around. But really, if you're an absolute beginner, this is a perfect place for you. Today, we're going to go ahead and put our beginner hats on. I know it's going to be really hard for those three gentlemen, but we're going to really try and make sure that they wear the beginner hats and they don't go too advanced. And we will get you guys up to speed, right? This stream will also be recorded. So if you feel like you want to go back and rewatch something, don't worry. It'll be posted after the fact on YouTube. And for those fine folks that'll join later, it's also a great feature. So make sure that you have the karting microgame already open in Unity. And if you guys have followed all the instructions in the how to prepare section, you should be in tip-top shape. If you haven't done so already, now is the time. While we're still bantering, you still have the moment to get ready. So go ahead and do so. So we'll be modifying the game, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm not going to give anything away. The coolest part, guys, is all of you that are watching, you guys will have a chance to actually win some awesome prizes from Unity today. We'll be giving away $75 gift cards all throughout the stream. And those gift cards are particularly to the Unity Gear store. So you'll be able to get all geared up, get some really cool Unity stuff. And if you do, please share it with us on social media. We'd love to see those pictures. But check this out. We'll be announcing winners about every 30 minutes or so. We'll have 6 total winners. And to enter, it is really super easy. If you're just watching, you can take a screenshot of watching this and you can share it on your social media platforms like Instagram. You can share it on Twitter and also on the karting game community on Connect. So all you got to do is share whatever you're doing. If you're just watching, if you're modifying, and don't forget to use a hashtag #YourFirstGameJam, tag Unity, and of course you can tag us too. That's optional. So we'll be browsing through social media and picking those winners about every 30 minutes. So guys, this is super easy, right? You can win, you can have fun, and hang out with us for next 3-some hours. But because today is also special, we'll also be announcing 3 winners and 3 honorable mentions of the Need for Kart challenge that just finished off, and we'll announce the new challenge. I know that's a lot to mention, guys, but we also have a Q&A in the end. We'll have some great fun. We'll probably judge Mike's driving skills, and it'll be amazing. So stick around. Let's get going.
Fantastic. Well done, Elena. That was great. Thumbs up. All right, so here we are in the project. If you have opened up this project, you should in theory be seeing what I'm seeing, but you might not. You might be looking at something like this, where you're not seeing anything at all. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to get into the scene that we're going to be using to work with here. So I'm going to go down here to my project view down at the bottom. Actually, you know what? I'm going to back up a second, because what happens if you're seeing something really weird? Maybe your layout looks like this or something and you don't see that project window. The very first thing I'm going to do is in the Unity editor, I'm going to go to the upper right and I'm going to click this drop down and I'm going to select default, and that's going to load the default layout here. So now I will have this at the bottom, and I'm going to go into my karting folder down here and then into scenes, and then I'm going to look for this main scene. I'm just going to open that up, and that is where I'm going to see all this cool stuff. Now, one of the neat things about this micro game is it has all these tutorials built in, and if I want to see those, I can just go up to this window at the top that is tutorials and click show tutorials, and you're going to get this neat little window here with all of these cool tutorials there. And you know what, I say we just try one of these out. So I'm going to hit playtest, which is the very first tutorial, and now I'm going to see that I am locked away from making any weird changes or whatever. It's going to take control of my screen as it's walking me through how to just get started and enter something called play mode. So I'm going to hit start because I don't have a choice. Hey, and it's telling me to hit enter play mode here. So I'm just going to click that button, and hopefully the volume of the game isn't too loud. You guys will have to let me know. How I have mute audio. How is that? Is that volume wise? We'll see. I'll open up the mixer here. Make sure I'm not blowing anyone's eardrums out. I think it should be good. And now I'm just going to drive around. There we go. Look at me driving the car. Fantastic. Now when I'm satisfied with my sweet driving skills, I'm just going to leave play mode there. And one thing I'm going to notice is that I'm not going very fast. And this is going to walk me through fixing that. So I can see here an explanation of the hierarchy window. And that's this window right here. And what that's going to do is it's going to show me everything that's currently loaded in my scene or my level, right? In Unity we call levels scenes. And I want to change one of these game objects is what we call them. And so this is telling me to click on this player, the classic Kart player here, and I am going to hit next, and then I'm going to say, all right, well, let's go ahead and change our speed. So I'm going to click next again. It wants me to expand base stats and change my top speed. So what am I going to make my top speed here? What do you guys think?
1 million.
I think that's ill-advisable, but I don't want it to be 10. You know how I feel about 10. So right. You know what? Let's. Some people said 100. So you know what? This is gonna be bad. But you know what? I am. If nothing, I am out to please. So here we go.
You know what 10 is?
What's that?
It is a tenth of 100. So
this is true. All right. So 100 is gonna be. Oh, they see me rolling. Oh no. So 100, a little hard. You know, it wouldn't be so bad if I had like the self-control to just not hit the gas 100% if I braked at all. But you know, whatever. And there we go. I have finished one of these tutorials, and there are a lot more of these we can do. However, I'm not gonna worry about these right now. So I'm just gonna right-click on those tutorials, and I'm gonna close that tab, and that's gonna bring me back here. And then every time I redo my editor, it kind of resets a little bit. So I'm gonna resize it like that. And there we go. And I'm going to go back to my classic Kart player. Let's pick something a little bit more reasonable. I'm going to say 15. How about that? I know it's not quite 100, but it should be sufficient. Hopefully that works for everyone. Okay. So that's an easy enough one. You guys can follow those tutorials. They're always there from that menu, and you can check out all the cool things there. But we want to take it a little bit further, and there are these series of mods you can check out. The tutorials window shows you how to get to the mods, and as well as the hub and everywhere else. So we're going to do a few of those mods. And the first mod, or modification, for those who don't know, is that we're going to change the name of our game. And so the name of our game is shown here in this other scene called intro menu. And so I'm just, again, going to be in assets, karting, scenes, intro menu. I'm going to double click that there. And I'm going to see this name your game and this cool background. So let's go ahead and customize this a little bit. So I'm going to go to my canvas, and I'm going to expand that. The canvas is this thing, is this UI, user interface thing we see here. And I'm going to go to this background image, and we can see here that it's this interesting sky. And what I'm going to do is right here where it says raw image texture, I can apply a new image here. And so I could locate some images and drag them onto here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this little circle we call the circle selector just to the right of that, and I'm going to click it. And that is going to bring up this list of all of these different images, anything that fits the bill, anything that could be put in here. And if I just click around, I can see all these different potential backgrounds. There we go. You know, we have all these options. I can also just grab weird things that are not really supposed to be backgrounds or whatever I want. But I can grab, let's say this one, bowling pins. I like it. What do you guys think? Bowling pins?
Perfect.
I think bowling pins work really well. We do have actually, so you can use one of these ones that's already in here, or you can bring in your own, right? Your own images for whatever you want. So if I were to say, have a folder with an image right here, I could just drag and drop that into Unity, just like so. And then if I were so inclined, I can now drag that and be like, there we go.
Oh my goodness.
Fantastic. There we go. So that's gonna be our background. I like it. It's so good. All right. So there we go. No copyright infringements happening, by the way, anywhere. I think maybe we should have picked this one. I'm not sure. I'm not a lawyer. If it should be fine. It's fine. Whatever. So there we go. So let's change the name now. So that's our background. I'm gonna click over here to title text, and here we can give our game a name. By the way, I have a very loud typing sound. I apologize for that. I'm actually eating a bowl of Rice Krispie cereal, and that sound is the snap, crackle, and pop that you're hearing. So okay, well, everyone. So Elena, give me a word here. What's one word of our title?
I mean, it's becoming more and more obvious to me. I think I'm going to go with 4.
That was actually significantly more than one word. So, what? 4?
As in F-O-U-R.
Not just F-O-R, F-O-U-R. Okay. All right, then Roman, what's the next word?
I'm also going with a number, but let's make it futuristic, like a year number. 2065.
2065. Okay.
65. Yeah.
So, Soaryn?
65. Okay, what did I do with apocalypse? I guess. I don't know.
And I'm gonna add. Oh, I can't spell apocalypse. Oh no! There we go. 2065 apocalypse.
Love it.
Oh wait. No, I'm gonna change this. I'm modifying your word. Sorry. Alpacalypse.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be all about alpacas.
Yes.
So there we go. It's always gotta have a pun. All right. Our game. Thank you for that. What a gift you've just given us. So for 2065. It's got to be the alpacalypse. We're spending so much time on this and it's completely irrelevant. All right, for 2065, the alpacalypse.
No, this is like the key feature to your game.
You're right. The name is very important. All right, fantastic. So I lost track of what I'm doing now. So we have changed our name here. And for anyone who's like, well, where are these mods? What are you talking about there? I'll pop this one open here. So you can always go to the learn.unity.com, check out the karting template and see all of these cool mods. And one of these mods, I came here to prove a point. One of these mods is to rename your game, and now I'm like looking for it. Here it is, karting mod, name your game. So if you're curious, where did I find those steps? You can see them all written out here to include changing and dragging in your own background and all that cool stuff. So it's all here on the Learn site. So nothing's original. We're stealing all of it. Cool. So let's go back now. What do we want to do next? So we've arguably given our game the coolest name that has ever existed for a game. What do we want to do next? Who's got an idea?
We could modify the track a little bit.
Okay, let's do that. What do you want to do?
So if you look around your scene already, you have at least road that's already there, but you may be able to click on them and notice they're actually individual objects. These are usually built with prefabs, and Unity has provided prefabs in a wonderful folder. So if you go to your assets down below, you can do this one of two ways. You can either search for it, which will give you everything labeled track, or you can go to assets, karting, modular track kit, prefabs.
So for those who don't know, prefabs stands for prefabricated object, and it's basically a game object, something in our scene that's been set up and just saved as a file, so it has all this stuff kind of set up for it. And we're going to see a little bit later how using prefabs is going to make our work a lot easier if we modify one and then want to change all the rest of them and stuff like that. So don't be frightened by that term. It's basically just some game object stuff we can just drag in.
Megan, speaking of easier, I saw that you were using some really cool little shortcuts as to how to get around and actually hover around your scene. Could you tell our beginners here how to actually get around the scene and how to view it from different perspectives?
I can. I had a whole clever plan about how I was going to go about it, but I will bypass that plan and just show you now because I was going to drag it somewhere where I couldn't see it and be like, oh no, why can't I see it? How can I find it? But you're keeping me honest, Elena. So what if that happens? I know there are many ways that we can navigate around the scene view, move around the scene view. The scene view, by the way, being this big window right here, which says scene at the top, which is where we can sort of WYSIWYG, what you see is what you get, design and build levels. And so the way I like to get around, which is arguably other people's most hated way. But we're going to cover a couple different ways. The way I like to get around is I like to use something called fly-through mode. And what that is when my mouse is over my scene view, I like to hold down the right mouse button. And when I do, my mouse cursor is replaced by an eyeball and a Tetris block. And then I can just move my mouse while holding right mouse down and look around. And while I'm in this mode, W, A, S, and D, just like, you're playing a first-person shooter game on a PC, W, A, S, and D allow me to move around. Holding down Shift makes me sprint, and Q and E makes me move up and down. So that's just fly-through mode. And since I play a lot of computer games, which my parents have always told me means that I'll be wasting my life, this is very, very simple for me. Yeah, so obviously something repressed just came up there. So the other way to get around, right, is, so I have this piece of road selected here. I can actually, with my mouse over the window, I can hit F, which will frame select. And then if I hold down Alt and click and drag, I can orbit around it. If I right click and drag, I can zoom and pan. And then if I middle mouse click and drag, or right click is zoom, middle mouse click and drag is pan. And so using this, I can say, grab that tree and zoom in on that tree and orbit around that tree, or you over there, what are you doing? Okay. All right. And you can navigate around that way. You can also just double click on things in the hierarchy and move around them that way. So a few different ways to navigate around, but again, I like fly-through mode. I'm used to it. It feels good for me. Other people who come from other workflows, maybe you do a lot of stuff in Blender or Maya or used to workflows like that, you might prefer the holding down Alt or Option on a Mac, and then clicking and dragging to orbit, zoom, and pan.
Super. And that kind of answers ZombieCraft's question, because he said, what about people with touchpads? So yeah, Zombie, that was just for you.
I also do fly-through mode with a touchpad. You just got to hold down the right and then use your other finger. It's a whole thing. But you know what? You do what you do. Whichever way works for you.
All right. Speaking of doing, Soaryn, how are we modifying the track?
So as much as I know that Mike loves bumpy track, we're going to start with that. So just after your starting line, can you select that track?
This one right there?
Yeah. So you can choose what you want to do with it, but we need it out of the way some way. So I'm going to let you decide.
Okay, so my options are disabling it, so it's still there, we just turn it off, or moving it, which I can just move things here. And by the way, moving, right, with these little arrows, I just click and drag on them, and that allows me to move them. And if you don't see these arrows, you might see something else. You might see nothing at all, which seems weird, and you're like, I'm clicking and, why can't I select anything? Or you might have this symbol, or this one, or whatever. That corresponds to these tools up here. So we have the hand tool, which allows us to pan. The translate tool, which is hotkey W, that allows us to move things. Rotate, scale, 2D, composite, all these things. So I just have the translate tool, and I can just, I didn't mean to move that up.
That works.
Whoops, I just meant to move that just out of the way. For now, let's say you're in timeout. Go hide in the rock.
Rock prison. Perfect.
Rock prison.
So what we're going to do is the second listing in your prefabs there is a bumpy track.
That it
I want you
is.
to drag that into the scene.
All right, I'm going to do that. Consider it dragged.
Now, can you line it up the best you can and
Yes.
show how you're going to do that?
Look at this. So I could just do like, there, that looks about right. But, that doesn't really work accurately. And I could spend a lot of time just trying to eyeball it and whatever. But ultimately, I'm going to fail, right? And it's really hard to line up that way. So there's a few ways, you can do this. You can, line these up so that they're like at 15, 0, and 17. And then while I'm dragging it, I could hold down Control while I drag, and that'll snap it at half unit or full unit increments. That's one way. But the way I like to do, here's a pro tip for you. I like to just get to where I can see corners. These are vertices in the mesh. And I'm just going to hold down the V as in Victor, the V key. I'm going to see this little white box appear. And if I just click within that white box, I can drag it over to another corner, and it's just going to snap them together. And that is going to line them up perfectly. Look at that.
And I didn't know that until this week. And Mike showed me, and I was just like, what?
There you go. By the way, for those who don't know, the reason I don't like the bumpy track right away is that we always put a speed boost right here, and then you hit the bumpy track, and you just go flying off the track, and then you can't win anymore. So
I'm just trying to make it so he can't win. All right. So we have a slew of other tracks. I can either walk you through how to add them, but there's one thing to note. on your scene, your hierarchy there, you may notice that you have everything labeled general, player, stuff like that, but you have now a track that's at the very top. That's not, it's away from all the other tracks. It's orphaned. So we need to try to
It's
keep it
social
get
distancing.
organized. Yeah, but in this case, it's
But
like
no.
on the wrong side of the bridge here. So we need to, send it back home.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to drag it in the hierarchy, and I'm just going to drop it onto this oval track so that it's down here with all the other track pieces. That is useful because it allows for organization, just so we don't have to see all those tracks. Actually, I missed it, didn't I? I've dragged it past it. So there we go. Now it's part of it. But then also, so they're grouped, so if I want to just turn off the whole track, I can. So, yep, we like to keep things organized. It's not required, but it's going to make your life a lot easier, which is what we're all about.
Learning this or trying to do that later on in a game is much harder.
That would be what Roman was referring to as the agony of game development, and we try to avoid that. All right, so what else are we going to do this track?
So I personally like going up or down in tracks, but I know how much you don't like that too early on. So let's say like on the opposite side of the field, we have this starting line 180
Right here?
probably right there, in fact, right where your mouse is. We'll just add one of the spiral left or rights.
All right, fantastic. Do you care which one?
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Then let's do left.
Okay, fantastic. Now, if I was having a hard time figuring out which of these track pieces to use, I would generally look at the names, but since the names are long enough, it just says modular TR, right? Because the names are too long. So if I look down at the bottom of my project view, which my, no, you can still see it. Sort of, I'll move the camera momentarily. There we go. So I have this slider, and if I can make it larger by doing this to make my previews larger, or I can go all the way to the left to turn it into a list. And that way I can now see this modular track spiral left. And so this modular track here, I'll hide that, and let's grab this spiral left. Well, the spiral left isn't going to work because we're not going that direction.
But you see, you can rotate it.
You're right.
You just rotate it.
Totally.
Degrees, man.
I was like, yeah, wait a minute. You could just rotate it. That's a good point. I knew that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just select my rotate tool, and I want to rotate about the y-axis. So I'm going to grab this green circle. And before I click and drag, I'm going to hold down Control, and that's going to allow me to snap to 15-degree increments. So there we go. And now I'm just going to, again, line this up here. Do what I did previously. I'm going to hold down V as in Victor, and I'm just going to snap those two pieces together. Look at that. Fantastic.
Perfect.
What should we do now?
So it depends. Do you want to jump or do you want to like gracefully go back down on the track?
You know I want to jump.
Okay. So let's add another straight, but kind of. Well, there might actually be a ramp. In fact, a modular track ramp.
Is there a modular track ramp? There is. Modular track ramp. So you want me using this one?
Yeah.
We're going to go even higher?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Okay. I'm picking up what you're putting down. All right.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're playing Roller Coaster Tycoon right now, the karting edition.
that's right. I did the math, but yeah.
Just made in Unity rather than Assembly.
Fantastic. I'm going to miss that jump every time, I guarantee you.
Every time. It's gonna be
Every
great.
time. Fantastic. So what else? We good with this for now, since this is just an example?
I think for now, yeah.
Okay.
We'll come back to this later.
Fantastic. And obviously, folks following along, you can build whatever you want. Whatever you want. How accommodating. All right. So we feel good about this. Anything else?
Oh,
Nope,
my time to shine, I guess. Let's add a splash of color.
All right. Fantastic.
that?
Do we have any announcements or anything? I don't know how long we've been going at this, Elena.
We do. If you guys will give me just 1 second, I think we have our first winner. But before we're going to move on and actually announce the first winner, I just want to let everyone know if you guys are joining right now and you've missed the beginning, it's totally just fine. We actually haven't done all that much just yet. So if you're guys just joining, check out the info box of this stream. There is a how to prepare section there. You can follow that if you haven't done so already. And of course, this stream will be posted as a video. So don't worry, no stress. Everything is fine. You guys can catch up and then can finish what we've done in the beginning at a later time, aka name your game. But guys, I've seen a lot of really cool submissions. My heart has been melted by George Toro. Unides, if I pronounce it right, because George is actually participating in the game jam with his 8-year-old, which is really awesome. We're all stuck at home right now. You have to keep your kids entertained, and what a better way to do it than make a cool game together, be probably like the coolest parent of the year. So George, you will be our first winner. Congratulations. Please make sure to change your settings on Twitter so that your direct messages are open, and our team will reach out with a $75 gift card to you shortly after the stream. Congrats, guys. And we have 5 more gift cards to give away. So don't forget to use hashtag #YourFirstGameJam. Post your progress on Twitter, on Instagram, or in the karting game group. So guys, let's keep going.
Am I allowed to do that, Elena? If I post pictures on your first game jam, can I win?
I mean, I feel like you can post it, but you're just automatically disqualified, Mike.
That is unfortunate.
You know why you're disqualified, though, right?
Because my stuff that I'm going to post is just going to be terrible.
No, you outlawed the number 10.
Yes. That seems reasonable. I mean, every action equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly.
Yep, fair enough. By the way, fun little story. My son came home one day from school and said, "Hey, I'm going to go over to my friend's house. His dad knows how to make games." And I said, "Really? Okay, fair enough." So anyway, so what are we going to do with some color?
Congratulations, George. Let's get back to our scene. It looks pretty fine to me as it is, but I kind of want to make our road a more lighter color. So, Mike, if you could select any piece of the track and...
All right.
Just any piece, yeah. Okay, and in the inspector at the very bottom, you will see material properties. Just unfold it, and you'll be able to change the color by manipulating the albedo color, the albedo parameter. Yeah, let's make it something yellowish and a little bit brighter.
Like how yellow
Maybe
bright are we talking?
Orangey, and somewhere in the middle of luminance.
How's that?
Something like that, maybe. But a little bit more to the orange side. Yeah. So it kind of complements this evening scene.
Like a little bit of an arbor tangerine.
Yeah. Global illumination.
There we go.
So that's one way how we can manipulate colors, and because all our tracks are using this particular material, we don't need to change our colors to each and separate track individually.
Yeah,
but if you can also make a new material.
I was gonna say, if you look right here in the mesh renderer, you can see where the material is being specified, and they all use that material. So absolutely, that's why they all have changed, and that makes things nice and easy.
Yeah, super. And if you want to create a new material from scratch, that's also super easy, barely an inconvenience. Let's just first create a new folder to hold our custom stuff.
So I'm gonna right-click down here.
Custom or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to create folder. I'm gonna name it custom or something like you specified.
Perfect.
Amazing. Yes.
All right.
Now just right-click and select create material.
No one can ever say I don't follow instructions. Create material. All right, what do we want to call this?
I have a younger sibling, and that resonates.
There we are. Yeah.
What do you want to call it?
Let's call it, Road Futuristic. Amazing. Now you could just leave it like that. Yeah. Awesome.
Spelled it wrong.
Yeah, and let's change the color too. Let's change it to something blue, for example.
All right, blue.
Mike, were you in the previous life like a courtroom typographer or something? Because your accuracy is incredible.
Well, thank you. I don't know, as a matter of fact, but I'm meeting with a psychic over next weekend, and we're gonna find out. So there's light blue. Now, how am I gonna apply this?
Yeah, just drag and drop it on any object you see in the scene.
Man.
And there we go.
That is a futuristic road.
Yeah, a little bit of the road. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
awesome.
Now to apply it to all of the pieces, I would obviously have to drag it on here. I could do it that way. I could also click and drag on these and just drag. That's another reason why grouping them all is a good idea, because then I can just highlight all of them, click one, shift click the rest, and just drop that material on all of them to change them all at once.
Well, Mike, now that you know how to modify the track and make it super colorful, why don't you surprise us at your design skills? And while you do that, we will actually chat a little bit with Roman and Soaryn so that our amazing viewers can get to know them a bit better and maybe, just learn a few more things about them that we don't already know from their social profiles. So
I think it's a great idea.
Roman, you mentioned that you document your game dev journey, and you're also working on your first commercial title. Can you tell us as to how you actually got into Unity, and were you a classically trained programmer, an artist? How did it all start?
Yeah, no, not at all. So, okay, I'll start from the very beginning, and I will be generalizing a bit based on my own experience here. But I believe every teen who played or plays games at least once had the idea of creating your own game cross their mind. So, but because I guess I'm a bit older than the general audience here, the situation with game engines in my time was drastically different from what it is now. They weren't as democratized as now, and the cost of game engines was astronomical. I did try making games in Flash when it was popular, but because I had a background in 3D graphics, that is what I really wanted to do. So fast forward a few years more, and I'm starting to see this Unity pop up on my radar. And one day I just plunged right into it, and it was never the same since. And I must say that it did take me a few tries to start doing game dev consistently. And for you guys out there, the experience might be similar, and that's completely okay. In the end, I kept returning to Unity and stuck for good. Started publishing videos on various game dev topics, and I never felt being this at peace with what I'm doing with my life, and never felt such a belonging to any tribe in whatever I've been doing before. So game dev is not easy, but it is totally worth it.
That's super cool. And Roman, you mentioned that you're currently working on your first commercial game. Can you tell us a bit about it and where the viewers can find it?
The game I'm currently making is basically, if I would have to make an elevator speech, it's a portal with explosions. So you have these physically aware explosions with which you have to manipulate environment. So it's a 3D puzzle platformer, and it's currently you can wishlist it on Steam, and I'm making devlogs on my YouTube channel and post more granular updates on my Twitter.
Okay, and just one last question, I swear. So I'm pretty sure that the idea for that game actually came out from a game jam that Mix and Jam, Andre from Mix and Jam, hosted on his channel in the fall of last year, right? And that's kind of how you just got started prototyping, and now it turned into an actual title you're working on.
Yes, you're totally correct. Yes, so the story is just like you said it. It was we met with him in Copenhagen during Unite 2019, and a little bit after that, he decided to host his first ever game jam. And I've never done any game jams before, so I jumped at the opportunity. And to be honest, the experience was so freeing and fantastic. I urge anyone who was hesitant to participate in one to just do it. You will thank yourself after.
That's really awesome, Roman. We're really looking forward to seeing the game. It's on Steam. You guys can go and wishlist it. Follow Roman on his social media channels, and it'll link you there. So the moral of the story here is that game jams are actually not only fun, but they can lead to really cool projects that you can take into the real world experiences, and take it and make it an actual full function and cool real game, guys. So keep jamming, keep sticking with us so you can make something of your own. Now, Soaryn, you actually play video games on Twitch, right? So obviously that's kind of like, all right, well, we all love playing video games. How did you decide that I'm going to broadcast myself right now? And also, how did you get to start using Unity for your production?
So there was a point where I was playing Minecraft with a YouTuber named Direwolf20, and at one point someone wanted to know what it looked like on my screen. So I was like, okay, fine. How do I do that? So, well, we have Twitch. Twitch is live. We can see it now. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And this was like 2012 or so. And at the same time, I was doing my bachelor's. And this kind of coincided with mostly any kind of sandbox games. I'd play that, be like, okay, cool. I would get to a point where it's like, well, I'm not going to play games. I need to do homework. I'd stream it. People would watch. I don't know why, but people would watch it. But after a while, it wound up being that I wanted to get more production value out of my stream. Like I can make maybe funny content. I don't know if people come to watch me be good at games, unlikely, or watch me be bad at games, highly likely. But realistically, I'm probably at least humorous enough to keep them attention while I'm losing. But there's a technical aspect to this where I use Unity to improve the tech side. Like on Twitch, we can have subwords. We can have, say, bits is kind of a way for people to show support to the channel. And I use Unity to respond to those events and make it so on my side, on my stream, various, say, fireworks can launch off. I can make it so there's an aquarium. People are eating people are eating fish. Perfect. Fish are eating the bits that people cheer. So you can have a mini game on top of your stream that chat can participate in.
That's really, really cool. And I know that those experiences making it really more special to engage with your favorite streamers. So it's really exciting that you're using Unity to actually make those interactions with your viewers even more so special. So thanks for sharing your story. And guys, if you love watching people stream themselves playing video games, go ahead and check out Soaryn. He's on Twitch. And go and enjoy him being moderately good or moderately bad at games. It depends on what kind of day he's having.
Just bad.
or just bad. And speaking of bad, Roman, you know that Mike said that he loves speed pads, right? So should we make his driving experience even better and put more speed pads?
I have a plan, by the way. I'm not going to be foiled by you guys. Real quick, I feel the need to show this off. So I have a little bit of a present for everyone. So
Please?
I've built my level. I've added some fun. We've got little air bubbles over here, little futuristic air bubbles, and we got some trees and some nice magenta back here. But here's the real kicker. Right now, in the sort of default setup, if I go to this post-processing profile, I can see it's actually turned off. It's just turned off in this scene by default. But here's my little surprise for everyone. I've been using emissives on everything, and I'm going to show you how. And I'm going to just turn this on, and pow! Maybe I went a little extreme with the emissives now that I'm able to see it for the first time. But here we go. So let me show you what I did.
What are emissives?
I'm about to show you. Absolutely. I'm going to go to
Amazing.
I'm going to go to my custom or something folder, and I'm going to show you here. So I set up this glowing line, and the color of the line in the middle of the road here is actually white. Right? But I've set up an emission. And what that means is this material is going to emit light. And so by checking it, I can now pick a color. And I've picked this sort of neon green. Now I went a little too intense with that neon green. So we can bring that down a scotch there. Just a hair. And I think I went a little too heavy on the trees as well. So if I go back to my trees, you can see here again, the trees are actually white, and then I have this emissive actually applying this color. So let's just reel this in a little bit there. Cool. But that's what makes things glow, is that emissive color. And then I have my character here, and again, I've applied sort of this turquoise emission, but I can, I can be one with the universe on him. There we go. I like it. Oh, yes.
Mr. Sandman.
That's right. It is I, Enlightened One. I like
Enlightened One.
There we go. And I did the same with the clouds. I maybe went a little too heavy with the clouds there. But I love emissions in Bloom. Yep.
One thing to note is that you've said that you've gone high for most of these, so you could go through each individual one and change them down, or you could also just lower down the post-processing as well. Up to you.
Nonsense, sir.
Nonsense.
I would never. So yeah, I could go to post-processing here, and this is Bloom specifically. Bloom is what is doing this. And you say turn it down. I say, what's that? I can't hear you over the sound of how AAA my game is right now. Yeah, you're right. So then we're gonna hit play.
Good luck with your skills here.
Thank you. I have a good feeling about this. So. Whoa, I'm out of control. All right. I know there's a spiral up here somewhere, and you're going to be all mad if I'm able to do this.
No, I'm going to be fairly impressed. I'm mad.
Haters going to hate. Yeah. All right, so then I got to stop hitting the gas so I don't overbounce there. And I'm going to turn. Oh, man.
You nailed this.
Nailed it.
This is the only time he's able to do this.
And
when he turns it back to normal, he won't be able to race again.
No, so I know when a game is AAA like mine is, you know. So all right, let's go back down on the intensity with our bloom there. But so anyway, now what were we saying? What are we gonna do next?
Speed pads.
Speed pads. All right.
So, yeah. So Unity included a myriad of different assets with this project that we could use to mod it out. So just navigate to the project's tab search bar and look for speed pad with no spaces.
Speed pad.
Pad.
No spaces. There we
There
go.
it is. Okay.
What do you want to do
Now
with it?
all we have to do is just to drag and drop it on our track. Anywhere
Bam.
where you want to do it. Yeah. Let's put it right there. But we're not there yet. Okay. Before we hit play, we should decide on behavior of this pad. So while it's selected, go under the boost stats, just a little bit lower.
There you go.
Yeah, boost stats, modifiers, and we'll see that it basically mirrors our base parameters of our car
Will you swap
control.
your screen?
Let's see.
I'm sorry? Oh,
Will you
yes.
swap your face cam? Yeah, super.
I'm actually just going to do that because I don't know how I got elongated out there. How's that?
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, let's increase our top speed. It's a speed
What do you want to
pad.
make it?
Let's make it 50. Let's get it all the way.
All right, this is where the bumps get dangerous because bumps become full-on ramps at that speed.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we want to do?
And yeah, set a max time for 2 seconds.
time.
That'll definitely be enough. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay. And we can try it out.
All right, let's try this out. I have muted my audio, so let me show you where I did that. So in the game view, there's mute audio. I'll sit the back. I'll hit it. Oh!
And
A
we're
lot
flying.
of uptake. I wanted to go to this track, so I decided not that track was lame, and I'm gonna ride on this one. I probably should turn down the bounciness of the default cart here to prevent that from being so extreme. But now I'm on the wrong track. I think 50 might be excessive. I mean,
Yeah, let's do 20 maybe. If
Well,
our
we'll say
original speed is
30 is
15.
good. 30 is good. And I'm also gonna
Okay.
go to the cart here, and maybe we'll just turn down the bounce a little bit there. Cool. So we got these speed pads. All right. Anything else you want to do?
Yeah, why don't we use the events this component has exposed for us? At the bottom you could see 2 event fields. We will be using the first one for when the pop-up is activated.
All right.
So let's add a sound for when this happens. Click Add Component just below the search, just below, and search for audio source.
The source of all
This component
audio.
will allow us.
There we go.
Will allow us to play our audio. Before we add our sound, let's just rig everything together.
Okay.
So, yeah, you have to create a new,
Event?
new event, exactly, and drag and drop it in there, our audio source.
All right. So this is saying that when I activate this power up, it's going to do something to my speed pad. What do you want to do?
Yeah, exactly. We want to play. We want to play our sound. So there will be a function called play.
Yep, so I'm going to go to audio source.
Right there. in
And
the
then
bottom.
play.
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
Exactly.
And
And
what
now
do we
all
wanna
we
play?
have to do is add our sound. Just click that circle or selector thingy
The circle selector, yeah.
and select any sound.
I'm gonna
just
pick the
don't put
background music.
again.
I'm going to pick the
You're
background
gonna do
music.
it again, okay.
Yeah. Now it's important for me to uncheck play on awake because otherwise it's just going to play the moment this starts up, and I don't want that. I want it to only play when we hit a power up and it tells it to play.
Yes, and there's one more check that's got to be unchecked. Important one. Disable game object. Yes, this
So,
one.
if we didn't
Otherwise,
turn that
we
off, what
won't
would
hear
happen?
anything because
Yep.
yes, yeah, because sound object is on this object, and we will be disabling it. So we have to uncheck it.
That's right.
Okay.
Now,
guess
I like
we're
to,
all done.
just for funsies on this audio source, go to my pitch, and let's just pitch this bad boy up a little bit. There we go. That's going to make it extra special. Let's ready to try this out. All right. There must be some collider I'm hitting for a double bump like that, but... Now, it occurs to me that we never told it to stop playing, and so we may want to make that happen. If we go to
Yeah.
on power up finish cooldown, we can just do audio source stop to make that finish there. And that way
Yeah.
we don't hear that super fast-paced audio all the time. I don't know why I'm bouncing in the air there. I think maybe I dragged a collider or something while I was messing around with the colors. But at any rate, awesome. How do we feel about that? We like it?
Awesome. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. You know what? And I feel like we could possibly duplicate this, right?
We
So
can put a second one.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to come back over here, and I'm going to regretfully put this right before the ramp, which is going to be a mistake. And let's rotate it so it's facing the right way. Now, if I look at this speed pad that I just dragged on here, I'm going to notice that it doesn't have those things that we set up on the other one, right? Because we set it up on that one and not this one. And I don't really want to go through setting that all up again. And so this is where we come into sort of the power of prefabs, so to speak, as we had talked about before. So if I come over to this one here, where I have set up the audio source and all these things, and this is a prefab, I can come up to the top where it says prefab, and I can go to overrides and just say, you know what, let's apply all these changes I just made to this prefab, and that will apply them to all of the prefabs. So if I click over here, now I can see that this speed pad also has these settings on there, the power-ups and whatnot. I'm also maybe gonna turn this down to 20 so that I can actually play this. Shall we try this? What do you think?
Wizard 3. Yeah.
All right, and I want to
Let's
let
go
you
for
know I got tired of everyone's judgments and mockery, so I got a controller, and I'm going to assure you this makes it a heck of a lot easier to play. Also interesting for those paying attention, I don't have to modify this at all to use this controller. That's just the way the input system works. So I'm going to use a controller for this.
All right, Mike, all eyes on you.
Now I'm going to hit the speed pad. It's still going to send me into the stratosphere. There we go. Ah, see, much easier. Look, I can play one-handed. Look at this. Just skills. All day. Look, behind my head. Behind my head even. I'm not even looking. Look at that. Oh no. Other speed pad. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh no. Okay, so that speed pad may be a little too fast. But, maybe just a little bit. We'll make this one like 18. All right, fantastic. Well, I'm done showing off with my controller. So what's next?
You could increase gravity on that one real quick. Just all the way.
What would happen? Let's do this. I don't even know.
I assume you'd fall.
Added gravity. How much gravity do we want to add? Like all of it? Oh,
I think that's good.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake.
Before he goes through the ground.
I'm just gonna get street pancaked here. Ah.
Oh, not like that.
No, man. This car's too top heavy. I just have too much glow.
Yeah, it's something about being the master of the universe here.
Something about it. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention during orientation. Okay, so I mean it's a decent amount of gravity.
It was extremely unexpected.
That felt a little violent. All right, let's just turn that one down. All right. So what's next?
Well, I mean, you guys, speaking of gravity, what could make you even heavier? Maybe we can, put a hat on your driver, put a sweater on him. I don't know. But Soaryn, I feel like you can dress him up a little.
Yeah, so your character that you have there is just, if you look at it in the scene, there's an arrow to it that you can just expand on the left, and you just keep expanding this thing out. There is somewhere in that hierarchy a head end, and you could probably just easily search for it, or you can expand.
I can keep going. You want me to keep going? So yeah,
if you like searching, it's fine.
I know exactly where it's at. Normally you wouldn't actually do all this. I just happen to know where it's at. We're looking for head end, but let's pretend like we didn't know where that was. I could just search for head end. There we go. Nice and easy.
And what we're gonna do is we kind of want to make your master of the universe there look perhaps a little fancier. It's not something we can easily do, but we're just gonna try.
More gentleman-like.
Or gentleman-like. So
Yeah.
in your assets, if you happen to know where this one is, good luck. I hope you do, because I don't. There is a couple prefabs you can use that are actually already pre-built hats, and I'd like to show that we can use these, but then we'll move on to making something a little bit fancier than a hat, because everyone does hats. So in your mod assets, in the cart, there's a hat prefab folder.
There it is.
And you can just drag one of those to your head end,
Well, we wanted
And
a more gentlemanly He-Man,
Correct.
right?
So a top hat probably would go. So there you go. You just add it, and then anytime you hit play, you'll notice that your player animates. And as you animate, your head will move the top hat with it too.
Fantastic.
And this is
Look at that.
fancy, but you know, hats are kind of. If everyone already has access to a hat, why don't we do something different?
Okay, what do you want to do?
Like, I don't know. Let's do something like unexpected or very expected.
Oh, you want to do
like
something
a rocket
like
shuttle.
really, really unexpected?
Yeah, a rocket shuttle or another player perhaps, or a
Yes.
display.
Where's the Kart Classic display? There it is. So here,
There you go.
I'm gonna grab a display cart. You know, so basically just the one that we'd use at like the title screen, and I'm just gonna put that on my head. Boop. All right. Who needs top hats when your player can have a player? So let's just. Why can't I rotate that? Oh.
You guys, this is so AAA. I don't even know that I can handle it.
I know. I don't even know what to do with my life anymore. Like everything else beyond this is just going to be muted.
Your son has already proved to you that you can create games.
Well, no, I can't. Apparently, someone else's
Well, now you
someone
can. Go
someone
for it.
else's dad can make games. I'm not aggressive about that. All right. Okay, so let's see what we got here.
And it should, in theory, move it with it.
Oh,
There you
yes.
go. Look at your head bobbing. It's nice.
The man screams, for is he cart or is cart him? He does not know. I don't know which one's the cart. I feel like, okay, there we go.
The smaller one.
What's nice, though, is if I, like, flip over, then I'm still technically right side up. I just start driving on the bottom half. Right?
I don't think that one gets played out since it's the display.
Oh, yeah, adding
you
gravity
go.
was really effective there. I like it.
This is getting close to being Diddy Kong Racing. Oh, I can feel it.
See, yeah. There we go. That's why yeah. That's why I'm just a master at karting games, because you just think outside the box there. So,
Perfect.
what else do we want to add? We want to add some other props? I feel like we have other props, right? What do we have
Yeah,
here?
there's a shuttle. There's some archways, like a weird tiki head.
There we go. But I'm not going to make the archway nearly big enough. It's just going to sit there like that and just be in the middle of the way.
Is it a collider?
No.
Okay, but it's like, was it?
I mean, we could add a collider to it, but there we go. We got an arch.
not.
I like it. And that arch is going to have a head on it.
Oh, you way missed.
I missed like by a lot. It wasn't even. Was not even close. There we go. Man, 3D is hard. There we go. And of course it's upside down.
'Cause, you know, why not?
I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
Perfect.
I like it.
Freak out all people.
We could even add an animation to it so as you're driving by, it just is like surprise. Okay. Anyway.
So, to talk about that real quick, we're not going to do it, but you could hook that up to your speed pads to play an event with that object.
You're right. You know what? What I want to do is I just want to make it like so if you hit the speed pad, like a giant hand swats you out of the air, like so you just don't want to hit the speed pad or something like that. Yeah, like for instance, so like okay, to prove that point, if I were to just put this head right here and just make it giant like that, and on this, let's just go to collider. I could add a box collider to this. So there's a giant box collider on this head, of course. Now you think, well, let's just disable the head so it's not going to be a problem, right? Now it's not there anymore. But if I go to my pad here and I add an event, well, what do I want to do? Well, hey, Maui head, we're just going to do game object dot set active to true. And so now it's going to be like, oh, hey, I'm going to hit this speed pad, get a nice little boost. The guy on my head is funny. All right, so I'm going to hit that, and it's like, surprise, boom. Okay. So anyway, our game is so good.
Welcome to AAA.
Right? This is, yeah. No, you know, to be all fair, it really needs to be facing that way. It needs to be back a little bit further, and I think it needs to be a little larger.
Oh,
Oh my!
okay.
Now that you've essentially built, you know, a game of your dreams, and you know, it's got all of these amazing features that you want your friends to check out, including the not so secret giant tiki head. Do you want to show to our viewers how to actually share the game?
I would love nothing more, Elena. So what I'm going to do, and what we should have been doing all along, is saving my scene. And I can do that by going to File, Save Scene, or I can hit Control S or Command S, all right, to save that there. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do a build. So I'm going to walk through the steps of doing the build. However, if you forget or ever need help, in the tutorials menu, I'm not going to open it right now, but if I did, there actually is a step in here all about building your game. So with more instructions on how to do it. But I'm going to go to File, and I'm going to go to Build Settings. And I can see here all of these scenes. I'm going to leave these. You got my intro menu, and then my main scene, then the scene if I lose, and the scene if I win. I'm going to leave those all the way they are. And I can see that I'm currently building for PC, Mac, or Linux, and I can choose Windows builds or whatever ones I have installed. And I could build this, and I could play it on my computer right now. It's really cool. However, I want to share this with people, and it's very easy to share a WebGL game. So I'm going to click on WebGL, and since I'm currently, as you can see with this Unity icon, currently set to this build platform, PC, Mac, and Linux standalone, when I click WebGL, I have to click Switch Platform. Now, what happens if I click WebGL and I see a message about a module? Like if I were to click over to tvOS where it says Open Download Page, or Xbox One Open Download Page. If WebGL also says Open Download Page, then what I have to do is I have to go back to the hub, and I have to go to my installs, and I have a lot of them, so ignore my installs there. And I would have to look for the version of Unity that I'm using, and you can see here that I have WebGL build support. But if I didn't, I could just click these dots and go to Add Modules and just select WebGL build support right there. And then once that was done, I could come back to Unity and select WebGL and click Switch Platform. Now, when I click Switch Platform, what it's doing is it's actually going to take all of my assets, my scripts, all of my stuff, and it's going to convert it from the format it's in to one that works really well on that platform. Now, I won't see any difference, in my assets or anything like that. However, it's, converting them to work really quickly and really well on this WebGL platform. So it can take a couple minutes. It can take longer if you have a really large project. So we're just going to hang out here as it runs through this. It should only take a moment. Should be pretty quick.
5 years later.
5 years, it's done. You can't count. That was hardly 5 years.
Really fast.
Really fast. So fast. Gotta go fast. All right. And so now all I've done, I haven't built it yet. I've just switched to the platform that I want. Now I can click Build and Run. It's going to ask me where would I like to save this, and I generally just like to create a folder that I call Builds, and I put my builds in that folder. So there we go, and I'll select that folder, and now it's going to start the building process. And this process can take a little bit of time the first time because it's got to build everything, and then in the future incremental builds go a lot faster. So what do you want to do while we are building this, Elena?
Well, we are at another half an hour, which means we are about to announce our next winner. And since I don't want to be the only one having all the fun, I figured we'll also ask you and Roman and Soaryn to pick the winners as well. So I think Roman has been keeping an eye on social media. Maybe he's still looking, but our next winner is coming right up. So just hang on, guys. And in the meantime, if you're just joining us, welcome. Thank you for being with us this Sunday. And today we are doing a cool little project here. We call it Your First Game Jam, where Mike, Roman, and Soaryn are teaching you guys how to get started with Unity. If you missed anything, don't worry. This stream will be recorded. And if you're just joining and you're like, what's going on? What do I do? Check out the description of this live stream. All the instructions are there on how to prepare, how to get ready and whatnot. And we'll also be giving away prizes. So if you're participating, screenshot what you're doing, share it with us, hashtag Your First Game Jam on Twitter, Instagram, or in the karting group, and we'll pick the winners every half an hour. So Roman, do you have the next winner?
Yes, I have. Just give me a second too, because I closed it.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not me supporting winner there.
Yeah, I did not lose it, but yeah, the winner is Abel at Abel Abaldi. So congrats, Abel. You're the winner.
Super.
So he was able to win?
Yes.
I see what you did there.
Man.
And Roman, did you pick Abel from Twitter or Instagram?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Abel, if you're on Twitter, go ahead and change your Twitter settings so that we can actually send you a direct message. You can then go ahead and reverse the settings after you receive the code, but that will allow our team to contact you and send the code to you discreetly so nobody else can redeem it. Abel, congrats, and thank you for participating. All right. So we still have, what, 4 more gift cards to give away, guys? So, if you're just joining, if you've been participating, but we're a little hesitant to share, please go ahead and share. We are not a judgy bunch here. Whatever it is that you're doing, we're only here to support you, to help you, and to celebrate your learning and your successes. So, we're about to jump in and do a whole bunch more of modification here, guys. And with that, we hope that you've been following along. If you have any questions, we have incredible Ashley Alisea from Unity. We have Andrew from Mix and Jam, who also works at Unity. He's been in chat. Alexandra Kikuchi, who is also part of our team, is there answering all of you guys' questions. So, I'd love to thank them oh so much for being here and supporting our community. They're absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for supporting us on the stream today. And Mike, do you know what we're going to be jumping in next after this?
Well, yes, I do, but I'm not going to tell you just yet. So this is going to finish building. It's actually just about done. We're in the little last home stretch there. Like I said, it does take a couple of minutes the first time. So once building this, we're going to look at how we can actually submit this, right, to get a shareable link and share it with our friends and stuff like that. That's going to actually unlock some really cool stuff for us. So hopefully you're following along and it's all uploaded and everything. What are we doing? Actually, I have no idea. I don't remember from that part. What are we doing, guys?
Well, I think Roman made a game of his own for you to check out and for you to play.
Fantastic. You want to send that my way now and I can get it loaded up while we're waiting for this to finish building?
Sounds good.
Oh, I said that, but I have the link right here.
We were just testing you. We were just testing.
I just looked over at I have my other monitor here, and I've got this ready to go. So what do we got here? Is this yours here? Karting 9000? Knock down all the donuts in under 90 seconds. All right. How many donuts are there? I got to know what I'm aiming for.
All of them.
16.
16 donuts. That is a significant amount of sugar. That's not healthy. All right. I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, wait, no. I was like, what the heck? This is our game. It finished building. And once it finishes building, it automatically opens up in your browser.
Oh, Roman, you did so good.
I was like, you even picked the right name and everything. Like, how did you do that? Okay, so I'll play our game in a moment here. But let's try Roman's out. So I'm going to hit play. I like the hat. I like the coloring. Look at this. You just went so like, yours is nice, so coordinated.
Yeah, I wanted
you know what? I'm using my controller.
More colorful.
Controllers even work on WebGL. Still bouncy though, so bouncy.
Wow.
Man, it's taking me a while to recover from that one.
Oh, you're losing time, yeah.
Oh no!
I can't help that you made the wheels out of whatever material they make like bouncy balls.
There'll be a fork. Go to left. Yep. Yeah.
Nice job.
You were giving him Roman. You're no fun.
Yeah, that's right.
We left without us.
I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, the level of pro gamer that I am here. We're gonna hairpin turn. I gotta make my own sound effects. There we go. Am I gonna make
Add
it?
your sound effects.
I made one.
Oh.
There we go. Look at that.
Roman, that is making me crave donuts right now. So thank you for that.
I
the same
donuts here.
Now I gotta go to the right because there's two. Because I didn't go to the right before.
I miss glazed donuts so much.
Man, you're so good.
Glazed donuts.
Glazed donuts, man.
No, I think I'm one of the only people in the world that I know at least that like plain donuts. Like just the plain the cake donuts. I'm gonna make it. Bam! Look at that.
Perfect.
Damn, on your first try.
There we go. Now let's play this game.
Several tries.
And he's gonna play this one, not gonna quit in it.
Yeah. So here we go. Because I can't. Boom. You guys forgot I left that in there. All right. So, I've built this. Now, how do I make it so everyone can enjoy this masterpiece? Well, now that I've done a build, I can go to actually, where is that window now? I'm gonna go to Window, Share WebGL Game. Now this is part of these micro games, so I'm gonna click here, and it was for 265. The Alpacalypse. There we go. Do I want to add a thumbnail? Nah. I can actually do something there on Connect and get that. And so then I just hit upload. It's going to be pushing my WebGL game up. And when this is done, oh no!
Something's went wrong.
Am I not logged in, maybe? Maybe I'm not logged in. I don't know. This is funny because I've made like a bunch of these and uploaded them each and every time. But today,
You've hit your quota.
it was also probably because I'm like
always
running
gotta happen
several
live.
streams. Because I'm streaming to many different sources all at the same time. There we go. Okay. So it uploaded. It was just a network blip. And so now I get this URL. And this is one I can share with my friends or enemies, because that's how I roll. And here we go. So I haven't picked a screenshot, obviously, so there's not one there. But it's the first time I play, it's actually gonna record a cool little preview of my game. So there we go. I can hit some controls. Those are my controls. Not now. And I'm gonna hit play, and it's still recording sort of this initial video, which is pretty neat because then it's gonna show that I can't possibly win this. Was that a good? Yep, perfect. So that's my preview. And so now, I obviously really need to rethink the design of my game.
Just go backwards.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go this way. Actually, that's the thing outside the box, because it doesn't matter what order you complete these in. I don't know why I'm sliding all over the place there, but this actually won't work because I can't get back up the ramp. So best laid plans. There we go. Now you're thinking with portals. Oh, hit it. I'm gonna win. There we go. I won. See, you just got to come up with the right solution. You got to be a can-doer. There you go. So anyway, one of the neat things is now that I've done that, and what you will see if this is the first time you've done that, is you'll actually get in that window that you saw a notification that you've unlocked some special assets, which is cool. So by completing a build and sharing a build, what you effectively do is you unlock some new stuff. And I'll show you how you find that. So if I go, well, you'll have to click a button and it says, yes, I'd like to accept that. And once you've done that, if you go to Window and then Package Manager, where we have all of our like Unity built-in packages and available packages. Normally you can see these all packages or whatever. If I click this drop down and go to My Assets, that is going to unlock this 4x4 cart for the micro game. It's going to unlock this roadster for the micro game as well. So some extra cars and stuff like that, which is pretty darn cool. And while I'm thinking about it, for the sake of us actually playing this game throughout the rest of the day, I am going to turn off that giant Maui head. As much as it saddens me to do it, I'm just going to remove that event there. So I'm just going to click on that event. No, click on the event itself.
Or you could invert it.
I could, but there. Oh yeah, so you have to hit it or the head doesn't go up. No, because that's gonna annoy me because I'm gonna miss it and just be like, okay, well now I gotta go back. So we're just gonna leave it off there. All right. Someone asked why the WebGL build didn't have music. They do. It's muted since I didn't have that sound balanced like I do with the editor. All right. So what are we up to now? We have built our stuff, and we've gotten some assets that are cool. What do we want to do?
Yeah, so if you guys remember, a little bit back, we actually announced a Need for Kart challenge, and so many people participated. So we did say that on today's stream, we were going to announce our honorable mentions and also the winners of the Need for Kart challenge. So guys, thank you all so much for participating and tricking out the game. We were super excited to actually play your submissions. I know I've played so many. I actually went back and played the other ones as well because they were absolutely fantastic.
There were 54 submissions.
Yeah, super, guys. Thank you so much for participating. But the three honorable mentions for today's stream are Guillermo Grillo, who submitted a color card, Summer card by Anai Sanish, and also Itovitz carding by Vlad. So thank you guys so much for participating and congratulations. Thanks for sharing your creative talent with our community and keep up the good work. And don't forget, we have another challenge starting that we will announce on today's stream. So participate and you could be the winner. And now, Mike, Roman, and Soaryn, you have the floor to announce our winners.
Oh,
fantastic.
And they were pretty awesome. So I reckon, didn't we want to also show off some of the gameplay? I mean, that's if we can actually complete some of the gameplay, because I will tell you guys, one of them took me a little while. I was like, I am really struggling with this one.
Fantastic. So I would love to announce some of the winners, but I don't know what they are. So, so you know what, Elena, I'm going to let you announce mine for me because I don't know where the list is.
All right, guys. So I'm going to actually send Mike a link so he can pop it on the screen. And this one came as no surprise. I think we're all universally loved it. Oh, Mike, I see you there.
I found
This one
it.
is a COVID Kart. Absolutely incredible. So much work went into putting this together. So much creativity. So check it out, guys. And yeah, I mean, hands down, super cool work.
That's right. So we are going to avoid the virus. We're going to deliver toilet paper, and we're going to collect hand sanitizer. A lot going on here. So let's see how we do. So we've got some sanitization going on there. Got to stay, with your social distancing there. That's important. Collecting some toilet paper. And there's little teleport mechanics too, which is pretty slick. Boom, look at that. They also managed to get the bounciness down. I got my toilet paper bonus. Bam. Watch out now.
So what do you do at Unity? I get toilet paper bonuses. Ah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I have a really awesome job. Like, this is literally part of my job. So...
So Nick Rosler, congratulations on being one of our top 3 winners. A super awesome game. Incredible amount of work went into it, and we just want to congratulate you. Congrats.
Congratulations. No, virus, no. Anyway, all right, so what am I playing next? I feel like I could win this.
Soaryn or Roman, it's one of you is up. So whichever wants to go first to announce your winner.
Roman, go.
Yeah, I can do. I really love the space ride one. Can you find it for me, Mike? Or should we wait till
Sure
you finish
can.
it?
I sure can find it, but I am also going to finish this while it's loading on my other screen because I'm right there.
Competitive streak.
Yeah, because your skull is amazing. Yeah.
Because you spent the entire week making fun of my inability to drive before I got my controller. It's hard on a keyboard. All right, so
You say that as if this is stopping us here.
So
come on, I'm loading up links while playing one-handed. Come on now, skills, mad skills. Space Rider. Let's check this bad boy out. All right, what do we got here?
this was
So
awesome.
cool.
I just like the attention to detail. This guy.
Yeah, the streamers
So
at the
has
beginning there.
Aesthetics
Oh,
are amazing.
yeah.
I love the camera effect.
Yeah,
Did you see
yeah.
how
Yeah.
elongates out field of view there?
So there's a study on how FOV affects your perception of speed. And if you increase your FOV, you feel like you're just going warp drive, and if you increase or decrease your FOV,
Slow down.
you feel like you're a turtle.
Oops.
Aw.
And now you restart.
This is true. Also, if you color your car red, it just goes faster. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Yes.
Anyone out there who plays Warhammer knows what I'm talking about. Heyo.
So
All
about
right.
those driving skills.
I'm talking about Warhammer while I'm trying to play. Plus, you gotta line those. You gotta line. See, I'm a little off center. You have to be perfect on, and you hit that
you're good.
edge and fall off. I feel like that was by design. There we go. All right. See, you gotta be perfect. Oh, I'm way off center on that one, but I'm gonna make it work. No. Okay.
Maybe
All right. What's our last one here?
So there's one that was a little interesting called Color Kart.
Color Kart. That one is interesting, but I don't think that's the one we're doing here, is it?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. I'll play Color Kart while you guys get that sorted, because Color Kart is also fun. You have to collect the right color and then go through
Nice.
that ring. Elena, confirm for us.
Confirming at the moment. So I believe I think that was one of the ones we liked in the end, but we didn't end up selecting that one, Soaryn. So I think.
Okay. My bad.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, guys, it was really, really hard because these were all really amazing. Roman, you announced the gravity route, right? And there was also a
No, I did the space ride.
space ride. There was a
But,
gravity
yeah,
one.
the
The
one-
gravity one is the one that we ended up picking.
Man, this is
Yeah,
just an
that was
emotional
awesome.
roller coaster right
That's
now.
where the mistake lies. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Too much space rides.
We'll do it live. All right. So, gravity route. Now, this one is actually quite trippy because of this. And then you, for a moment there, if you leave the track even a little bit, then gravity kicks in and you die. And then you don't reattach. Let's try that one
And then
again.
you're just in a free fall.
Let's try that one again. All right.
Yeah.
You can't hit the
Definitely.
sides. You hit the sides, you're done for. All right. But it is a really neat effect. There we go. All right, let's see if we can't. There we go. All right. Now we're good. Just can't touch those sides, especially when you're against gravity. And... Wait a minute. I need my jams. Oh no, my jams screwed me up. Why did I need music? Oh, what is happening? I like it. There we go. Just gotta give it some time. It's also using that, no! Anyway, you may have noticed that the default bounciness on the car in this project is a little high. So it's, maybe if you're building with this, you might want to turn that down. But,
just a bit, yeah.
Just
the Roadster is also one that, it's really cool, but it's the bouncy.
Very bouncy, yeah. Just a scotch. I also can't help but just go full speed the entire time. I never press the brakes for anything. So there we go. So fantastic. All right.
Congratulations, guys. Those are our 3 winners. And again, it was really hard to pick, guys. I mean, case in point, we actually, we were thinking of other games, and there were so many others that I thought that people went all out, really decorating the environment. There was one that looked like, Busch Gardens. One looked like, another amusement park. I'm forgetting the word. It's like Busch Gardens, but with water. Adventure Island. Oh my gosh, I used to live in Florida. I should know that. Anyway, guys, so if you missed joining the first, challenge, we actually have another one coming up. So don't worry. There is going to be plenty of chance to enter, and we'll show you in the end of this jam how to enter. Of course, if you're not patient, like myself, you can actually head into the description of the jam and check out how to enter the Need for Kart edition number 2.
Down below. All right.
Down below. That's right.
Isn't that what YouTubers do these days? Look in the description down below. I don't know.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. That's fantastic. We're so pro. Alrighty.
All our secrets are out.
Fantastic. So are we going to play around with some of these new Kart assets now that we have them?
We could.
Is that what we're going to do? Well, let's go ahead and do that. Soaryn, how am I going to do that?
Okay, so now that you've actually submitted your project, you actually get a couple assets. You've already shown how to get them, I assume, maybe not.
Yep.
Or are you doing that now? All right.
I can show us again.
Package manager.
I'll just go to Window,
all your assets.
Package Manager, and I'm going to go to My Assets here. And so what are we going to import? Do we want the 4x4 cart or do we want the Roadster?
Why not both?
Why not both? What? What a man of the people. All right, I'm going to hit Import. There. I'm going to grab one of those, and then I'm going to go to this next one. Import. Also hit Import. And let's see what we got here. All right, so that should be adding this folder named Add-ons. And you're right, there's the 4x4 and the Roadster.
Perfect. So I'm going to let you choose a number 1 through 10.
Well, you mean a number 1 through 9? I'll pick 9.
9. Okay, so Roadster it is. So we're going to drag our wonderful
anyway.
pre-powered Roadster.
Okay, sure. I'm following. All right. So we got a Roadster. Which one do I want here? Because I can see 2 of them. I've got the Roadster.
One's an ML agent. Unless you are a machine, Mike, I would like you to be a player.
It depends on who you ask, but I will be a player. So you just want me to bring this in?
Yeah. And this is our made-up world, so you can be what you need to be here. So, so you bring that in. But now we have perhaps not a problem for most. We may want to potentially turn off our previous player.
Yes. What were to happen if we didn't?
We would control both of them, as if we were the universe master of everything. But the problem winds up happening that if you have a faster cart, then you may get these things.
We can do it. We can do it. Okay. All right. You've made your point. So I'm going to go to the classic cart, and I'm just going to disable it there. So now we just have our Roadster.
But now you may have so actually, if you hit play to show what would happen if you didn't do anything else, if you just disabled it, your camera will actually, in fact, not follow your player.
Way to spoil it, man. All right.
Yeah, man.
I don't see a problem here. I think this is perfect.
That's great. Now,
see ya.
I want to know how well you've done a spiral.
yeah, that's a good point. All right.
So one of the things you can do is in Cinemachine, in your hierarchy there.
Yep.
There's a virtual camera, and you can tell it to look and follow at your character.
For those of you who don't know, Cinemachine is basically kind of an intention-based camera system. So instead of writing a bunch of code to make a camera do something, I can use Cinemachine here to just use some knobs and buttons and say, hey, you know what, do this, don't do that, whatever. It makes it pretty simple to do. So here I am on this Cinemachine virtual camera. That's the thing that's going to be following by my player. And what do you want me to do?
There is a follow and look at field. I would like you to drag in your new player into that point.
All right, so I'm going to follow the Roadster, and I want to look at the Roadster, just like that, because if I was still looking at the old Kart, the camera would turn, and that wouldn't be so helpful. And now, if I hit play... Nope. And those red lines only appear because I had the virtual camera selected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Even I was freaked out. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I can have this selected because I can do things like, where's my dead zone, and how do I want to center this, and things like that. And there we go. And so now it'll stay within the dead zone and whatever. And look, I can do. I don't know why you'd want to do that for this karting game, but I really should have turned off save during play, so that didn't get saved, but it did. So I'll have to fix that real quick. So that's all right. It's easy enough to fix.
No.
We just want to set that to 0.5 and to 0.5, and then we just need to close our dead zone up, which I must have to be in.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Boom. We're back. Okay, what's next?
Easy. So we could, we're on this world alone. We could add a machine.
I feel like you have something in mind.
Yeah. So we have a Roadster, but you know what? Let's get the other one now that you've chosen 9. Let's do our 4x4.
Oh, it's gonna be man versus machine.
Yeah. See, so we're gonna grab the prefab, but we're gonna do machine learning this time. The ML agent.
ML agent, machine learning agent. What is machine learning?
In a nutshell, it's letting the computer figure out from like kind of a list of parameters what is right, what is wrong. And in this case, it's not so much learning other than using what it's already know. So it's using inference. So
all right, and I want to win, so I'm just gonna make sure it's further behind me.
Yeah,
that feels right. So yeah,
it's gonna help you a lot.
Basically, no, not so much. Basically, like I don't know how to write an AI for a driving game, right? I don't know how to do that, but I can use machine learning agents to basically show it how to play the game and let it figure out how to drive, which is effectively what we're doing here. So we don't have AI that specifically says this is how you drive. We just set it up like a car, said this is gas, and this is how you go forward, this is how you turn, and this is what you want to do, and it figured out how to play the game, and now we can just utilize that. So it's pretty slick.
Yeah. So, but in order to tell our AI kind of like what is the objective of this game, we have a clear directive of go around in circles to make everyone laugh at my skills. But in this case, the AI is not getting that satisfaction. So we kind of need to add checkpoints and whatnot. So I think the first thing we should do is make a new game object.
All right. So I'm going to go to my hierarchy.
This is going to be in charge.
And I'm going to, I'm going to talk over you there. I'm going to hit plus and create empty for you. Now what do you want to do with this?
Perfect. So naming it probably would help. So maybe Kart Academy. And this is going to be in charge of kind of making sure all the ML agents are learning or at least properly addressing what they know. So after we've named it, add component.
Add component.
And we're going to find Kart Academy.
Kart Academy. There we go.
And that's all we need to do for that game object. It's there. It's in the scene. It is running. But
fantastic.
If you hit play now, it's not going to work. It's actually going to error out, I think. It's going to start saying, hey, I don't have any knowledge. I have nothing to do. What can I do?
Let's see. Do we get errors? We do get errors. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh,
so
divide by 0. Yeah, it really doesn't like.
So
yep.
It has no checkpoints whatsoever. So what we're going to do is make another game object.
Okay. Let's go ahead and
name
do that.
it. So just a create an empty object, and we're going to name it just checkpoints, or AI checkpoints, or Billy Bob, whatever Mike wants to name it.
Well, now I'm sad I didn't name it Billy Bob, but okay, let's keep going.
So you can name the checkpoints that. So now inside this, we're going to make a 3D cube.
3D cube. So I'm going to right click on checkpoints. I'm going to go to 3D object and cube.
And we're going to position that, or you can name this first, whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna checkpoint Billy Bob.
Perfect. Nice. So we're going to move this somewhere after the starting line here to kind of help tell our AI where we want to go. So probably before the bumps would be good. And we're going to make sure that the scale of this is within the walls of both. So make sure it touches both walls.
You shall not pass.
none shall pass. Now, this is going to be our checkpoint. We need to make sure it has a box collider, and that's all it really needs in this case. The mesh render we'll leave on for now, but later we'll turn it off.
Okay.
We need to decorate our track with this. So if you would like to make a prefab out of this to show people how to do that and why.
I certainly can. So I'm going to go to my customer something folder just so we can put everything in the same folder. And I'm going to grab checkpoint Billy Bob, and I'm just going to drag and drop it down here. I don't want to grab the checkpoint's top level object. That's just a container. I'm going to grab this checkpoint Billy Bob and drop it right here. And what's next?
Now we're going to decorate our track with these. So basically just for every so often, however far you feel would be necessary for an AI to say, hey, I got the checkpoint 1, where do I go from here? The thing is to make sure while someone's doing this is to make sure that it's touching the walls and it's likely rotated the correct way. So rotation of it doesn't really matter in terms of which way's forward, but making sure that it won't be able to be skipped by the AI is important, because that's where it's going to go to next, or try to at least.
All right, I probably should just be duplicating the ones I already have. That's what I'm going to do. Control D or Command D just lets me duplicate. That'll be a lot faster. All right. The spiral can be a bit of a challenge. Not really a challenge, just you have to add a lot of these here so we can navigate up there, but we'll keep going.
So someone's already pointed something out very important, but we're going to wait for you to finish this.
I already know what it is. Do you want to see it? I don't even have to look at the chat. I haven't.
Yeah, right. I already know what it's going to do, but we made a prefab, so it was easy to change this.
Gandalf the Grey checkbox.
You said none shall pass, so I had to make sure it was true.
None shall pass. Bam. All right.
Easy. Easy.
Yes.
But we'll continue. We can
We'll
easily
continue
just
on.
change that whenever.
We're just making it so no one can win. Welcome,
right.
welcome to the
Guys,
game.
Actually, speaking of winners, we are at another top of a half an hour.
How
so,
poignant.
Soaryn, do you want to announce the next awesome winner?
Sure. All right. Much like Elena earlier, this basically making games or doing anything with your family is honestly just so fun, especially right now. So we're gonna, if I can figure out how to get the name from my link that I've saved here, because I didn't close it. I didn't lose it, Roman. I just can't read.
Yeah, Roman.
Will Salt on Instagram, spending time with two young ones, learning how to code. It's great. Learning from Mike that none shall pass. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Will Souls, congratulations, and thank you for sharing your pastime today with your family. It's really great to see you that you're joining us and that you're finding ways to have fun as a family while learning. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The thing to note here is that none of us are sure how well this is going to perform on the jump. I honestly think that it needs to be at the very edge of the jump, so it can't apply the brakes.
I know exactly how well it's going to do. It's going to do amazingly. Because I have faith. You may not, but I do. So, yeah.
I just feel like it probably should be literally on the very edge, but we'll see. We'll see.
Like Limp Bizkit said, you got to have faith. All right. That's right.
Mike, honestly, I think most of the people that are watching right now, unless their parents, are going to miss that reference.
Well, not to mention that that was a cover by, a completely different artist. But
Okay,
but
so
yes.
it predates me. What was the reference?
Oh, you guys. All right, so we're just about there. I'm gonna throw one more on here. Oh,
Nice.
I said more on.
Oh.
Because I said one more on there. Yeah. All right, gotta pay attention. Okay, so there we go. I feel like that's good.
So, but to address that issue that we had, since these are all prefabs, we can just make these a trigger, which means that they're no longer collidable, but our physics system will say, hey, when something touches me, I'll send out an event.
Yes.
Which is exactly what we want here.
Now, there's two ways I can do this. So I can either click on one of these boxes and say this is a trigger, and then I can go to overrides and I can hit apply to all, or I can just go to the prefab I created right here and just check it directly on the prefab, which will automatically be applied to all of them. All right. Anything else that I have to do here, or are we ready to go?
So I like to test it before we do anything else, but we will turn off the mesh renders so we can see it.
You want to do that as well?
So
All
it's
right.
up to you.
All right. Bam. How about that? No
Magic.
mesh renderer. Tons of magic. Now,
Oh,
spoiler
wait, no, there
alert,
is
it's still
something,
not
isn't
going to
there?
work. I was waiting for you.
I'm so used to automated systems, right? So
Sorry, we're
First
not
thing,
automated enough for you.
Our ML agent is no longer following you because it doesn't know what these checkpoints are. We've added them all, but
Come on, idiot. Let's go. It's
Idiot,
go time.
Your moron is playing here. It's
All
fine.
right.
So now we've got to tell our agent, our wonderful ML agent, our Kart, about these. So somewhere there's a list of colliders.
There sure
And
is.
to note, you could drag these one by one into it, but there's a simpler way.
Yes, there
You can
is.
lock this down at the top and then drag all of them.
I feel like these also need
But you
to
didn't
be...
lock it down, so now you got to go click it again.
I didn't lock it down because I forgot to move all these.
Oh.
And now they're all out of order.
See?
Go me. So, yeah.
Yeah, wait, are they out of order now?
They are, but I'm just going to put them in order here. There we go.
See? This is what we're talking about, organization early on.
You know, I just, because I wasn't duplicating, which I should have just been duplicating. But there we go. And now they'll be in order there. So if I look, fantastic. I don't know why that one is a child of that one. There we go. Okay, we're good now. So as you were pointing out, if I say, yeah, so if I want to, well, I want to show them why. So I have these colliders, and I could like just try to manually select ones. I could click and drag them onto colliders, but if I wanted to click and drag multiple, I'd go, oh wait, I deselected it. How do I make this work? And so what I can do is with my 4x4 ML agent here, I can go up to my inspector in the upper right. There's a lock icon. When I lock it, now no matter what I click on, it's still showing me that 4x4. I can't deselect it on accident. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where it says colliders, and I am going to click on my first checkpoint all the way down to my 20th checkpoint, drag them all on at the same time, drop them right there on colliders, just like that. And now I can unlock that inspector. So there we go. Now
one more thing. Can you make the checkpoints part of the right layer? Do you know?
Yes, I can. So
yes.
If I look at each of these, I can see that they're on this default layer. However, I believe the Kart is going to look for them on a specific layer. It's going to look for them on what has this mask here. Nope, that's its collidable mask. That's not the right one. But anyway, it's looking for this training checkpoints layer. That's the one we're looking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back down to the prefab. I could do it on one of the ones in the scene and then apply it. But I am going to go down to the prefab here, and I'm going to say that this is going to be on that training checkpoints layer. So now they are all on the correct layer. And so what effectively is happening is this 4x4 Kart has been trained to look for these checkpoints. It's going to find them and it's going to follow them in order to help it navigate and complete the course. And the reason, in case you're wondering, well, why do we need these checkpoints or whatever, is because this is a computer, right? It can't see anything. And so we need to give it some sense by which to navigate. And so we provide these checkboxes to do it. And now it should work, correct? Thinking yes?
I want to say so. I have confidence, like 80% confidence.
Only 80%? Fair enough.
No, that's pretty high, to be honest, for AI.
Well, then you're just not a very confident person. All right, I'm going to mute the music.
25%. We're good.
Oh, there we go.
It's
there we go.
10. Oh. He's doing better than you. Oh, there we go. Nice.
Please, you forget I'm using the keyboard. This is like that scene in The Princess Bride when he's like, I am not left-handed. And then he starts using his right hand.
Mind.
So there we go. There we go. You know what? Where's he at?
Can we show
there he
something
is.
here?
Well, I'm going to go backwards and beat him. Look at that skill. Okay, what do we want to show?
Can we show this while it's playing? Can we show it in the scene view?
We sure can. So let's go ahead and just drag the game view over here.
And just the AI agent there is just so fun to watch.
Yep.
Guys, speaking of fun to watch, I wanted to give some shout outs to our viewers. We right now have 365 viewers still with us, and we've been going at it for over an hour and a half. So that's some perseverance and dedication, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. And I'm seeing a lot of people actually answering each other's questions, which is always probably, I mean, it's always my favorite part of watching this, right? Because we're here talking, you guys are following us along, you're running into questions, you're asking us in chat, and sometimes before we get to giving you an answer, somebody from the community jumps in and tries to support, their fellow developers. So thank you guys so much. I'm seeing Mandisa and Ram Pravish Sharma just chatting away and supporting the chat, answering questions. We still have Alexander Kikuchi from Unity answering questions. Hanatona is asking questions about how to get started if you only have experience with programs like Photoshop. Guys, so many people are just chatting away, and Ashley is there to, answer your question. Thank you all so much for being with us on this Sunday. And again, ZombieCraft has been here since the very beginning, guys, and still with us, going strong and having a good time. Thank you all for being here. And again, if you're just joining, you don't know what's happening, catch up by going and checking out the description of the stream, and then it'll be posted as a video so you can see the beginning. Not that you've missed a whole lot, because the best part is yet to come, guys.
Ooh.
Which is...
I don't know. Go ahead and tell us, Elena.
What was it, Elena?
I'm waiting for you.
I mean, we're going big, guys, and we're going to put up a billboard.
Oh, yay, right. Now, real quick, we did notice the 4x4 got stuck. I think I just needed to move this checkpoint a little closer because it landed and it looked around and was like, I don't know where to go next. So it just was like, I'm just going to hang out on this wall. Also, before we hop into that, one thing I do want to show you, if I go to the karting folder and I go to scenes, there's an ML training folder in here. And I do like this training demo because this shows us how they set up the scene to actually train this machine learning agent. So if I go to Kart Classic Training, see, this is the actual scene they use to train it. So a variety of different courses that they're using to basically teach it how to drive in a variety of different ways. And if I go into the Kart Classic Training demo, I can now see that training actually applied. So if I hit play here, what's going to happen is I'm going to be able to follow any of these cars. I can just press spacebar to change cameras between them. And we can see that these are the actual scenes they use to train several of these cars. So we can just hop between them, and these are the actual scenes. So if you're curious how it was set up, you're curious what how the parameters were set up and stuff like that to actually train your own brains, you can certainly do that by just checking out how they're set up in these scenes here. And it's pretty cool. And there is a mod walking you through the whole process of getting TensorFlow working and getting the whole thing like learning. And it's really, really neat. Just making the machine agents do stuff is really cool. So just so you know.
And guys, also, this stream is very much for beginners, right? And typically subjects like machine learning and AI are a lot more advanced, right? But what makes this really, really cool, Mike can correct me if I'm wrong, is that we've sort of, took away all of that work that you would need to do on your own, and we've packaged it into this project, right? So you can kind of get a very basic understanding of how this really complex thing works. And as you go forward, and you do more and more with your game development, you can leverage this beginner experience to then start really, thinking about implementing this in one of your games if you're reaching that point. So, if this sounds like a lot at the moment, right, it's totally fine. You're not alone. This is a pretty complex topic. We're just trying to make it as digestible as possible for somebody who's just getting started.
Yes, indeed. And you are not wrong. You asked me to correct you if you were wrong, and I'll let you know that you weren't. So fantastic. Let's go ahead. Let's do some billboard stuff. What do we want to do here?
Yeah, let's customize our track a bunch more. Once again, Unity has already provided us with all the necessary tools and assets. And do you know what that means, Mike? It's search time again.
It is search time.
Navigate to the project tab. Yep, and enter billboard.
Billy board?
Exciting to search for something.
Yes, now you're gonna find the search bar.
Go find it.
Dun,
Get it.
dun, 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 dun.
But we have too many billboards of every type imaginable, so we can filter it by prefab only.
Oh,
Can you show it how to filter?
So yeah, if I click this little shapes icon right there, we do love our shapes. I can filter by prefabs. Now I will just see the prefabs with billboard in the name.
Yeah, so here we have three prefabs. Drag and drop the one you prefer into the scene.
Bam. I like that one.
They're all almost the same. They just vary by size. Okay, now the fun part begins, I guess. Do you have any particular image you want to display on the billboard?
I do.
I guess. Yeah.
What a silly question. What a silly question. So I am going to, of course, use our very special Where do I want to place that? I just want to drop that in here in the albedo.
Yeah.
So I can click the circle selector here. And I am going to find
the texture picker.
Yep, I'm going to find our fantastic image, which I don't remember the name of it now. So
4.
You can search for it.
Isn't there a name 4?
You're right.
Yeah,
Very
4,
good.
yes.
I knew that. That was a test. It's looking kind of green, so let's just go white with that there. Now, if I want it to look like a glowing billboard, I can always just turn on emission and use the same thing as the emissive map. Bam. Maybe turn that down a little bit.
Mike, I feel like you're going really heavy on the glow theme, and could this be because of tomorrow and what tomorrow means for you, the fan?
It very much could be tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Star Wars day, and I'm a big fan of Star Wars. So, but to be fair, I go glow all the time. It's just who
Mike is
I
all
am.
glow.
It's who I am as a person.
If you haven't already shared it, did you share it on your social media, or did you just share it with your coworkers, that amazing little thing you built at home to display your proud Star Wars collection?
Oh, my lightsabers? Yeah, I did not share it on social media. I really should. Follow me on social media and you'll see it later. I'll post it tomorrow. But I built a lightsaber display. I actually built 2, because I built one lightsaber display and it ended up looking so cool that I couldn't bring myself to actually drill into it to mount stuff on it. So I said, I'm going to save that for something else. Then I built a little bit more of a plain one to actually mount the lightsabers on. So.
What else could possibly be more worthy of the first display?
I'm actually not going to do it. It's just a really cool looking piece of wood. I'm just going to display it as a cool looking piece of wood because that's like my version of pumpkin spice latte, just cool wood grain. So,
Used to be a tree.
Right? It used to be a tree. All right. So we've got this cool billboard, but I feel like we could do something more with this.
Speaking of displays, let's go one step further and make this billboard show real-time in-game camera. So we need 2 things: a brand new camera and the render texture.
All right. So what do you want to make first?
So
the camera?
We're gonna create the camera.
All right. So I'm just gonna click the plus sign here, and I'm just gonna add a camera. And what do you want the camera to look at?
Let's leave it as is. Let's rig everything up and then we'll change the position of the camera. So now we need to create a render texture. Go into our custom or something folder and create a new render texture.
So I'm going to right click and go to create, and I'm going to select render texture once I find it. There it is. What do you want to call it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Render texture.
You got it. You got it, if that's what you want. All right.
Let's leave all the default settings.
Okay.
And select our camera. Newly created camera.
Okay.
All we need is to just drag and drop it in the rendering texture render.
Target texture. I'm going to drop it right there. So, yep.
Exactly.
And now what do we want to do with it?
Now we need to select the billboard and switch our Fantastic Four image for that.
I like that a little bit. Like you just...
Yeah. We can play it and it will change. It'll be kind of funky.
And that's kind of low res. So let's go, what do I want to do?
4K.
4K might be a bit extreme. There we go. We can see that sharpened up quite a bit there. Going 1024. And, to move the camera.
Now we can move our camera.
Yeah, I'm going to show you something really cool here. So if I find a spot that I really like say I really like this view, right here, what my scene is looking at, I can actually click on the camera and go to Game Object, Align with View. And that's going to move my camera now to basically, as I just said there, be looking down on that spot that I was just looking at there. And so now, if we hit play, eventually, there we go. I can see that camera rendering there, and I can actually see my cart in it, which is pretty wild.
AI maybe missed us.
Look at that. All right.
What
now,
have you done?
if I really wanted to, I could. Am I cool to just do something weird now? Or do you have more steps you want me to do?
Go for it.
All right, so I'm going to drop this camera on the main camera, and I'm going to reset its transform, so now it's going to follow the main camera. Except I'm going to move it up a little bit, and I'm going to move it down like so. And then I'm going to take our billboard right here, and I am going to drag that billboard onto our cart, because why wouldn't we? No. And I'm going to move it to 0, 0, 0, just like so. And we're going to do that. Wait a minute. 180. And then I'm going to scale that down a little bit. How do we feel about that? Nope, not quite. There we go. Sure. Okay.
All right.
So now that's the challenge. The challenge is you have to navigate from a top-down view because you can't see anything that's in front of you. And so
what's the top-down view either?
it's a camera system within a camera system, basically. So you have to use this. Oh no! Hey, that was dirty.
I can't
That
go
was
wide with it, so he just pushes you out the way.
that is dirty. All right, so
He's learning fast.
oh, I'm on two wheels. All right, I really should be using my controller. And I'm actually just not even looking at the front view. I'm actually looking at the top view and trying to drive. Haha, you got stuck. But so did I. All right. Okay, well, I'm too top heavy now. I believe it does calculations based on your total volume. And since this billboard's on top, I can't get up anymore.
Master Universe just can't handle anymore.
Okay, there we go. Oh, so hardcore. Okay, this is the Dark Souls of kart racing games. I'm still gonna win. Maybe.
Oh, now that you've said it, there you go.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah!
So good.
It's your finish.
So good. Okay.
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way. That's right. All right. Maybe putting the billboard on the racer was a mistake. I'll move it back. Just slightly. Okay.
Perfect.
Fantastic. I like it. Like I said, we make weird stuff. The nice thing is I don't have to be able to sell my game, so I'm free to just make whatever the hell I want. But they don't have to be good. All right. So what else do we want to do here? We've got so much time. Do we have anything to announce, Elena? Do we want to ask the audience? What do we want to do?
Well, I do feel like some of the, funnest moments on previous streams were when we were taking suggestions from our audience as to what we should do next using the skills that we've already learned. So guys, we want to take a few minutes and see what y'all want us to do. Do you want us to go wild with more props? Do you want Mike to change the track? Do you want us to put more obstacles? Basically, whatever it is that you should, you want to throw at us, please do. And then we'll select a few of those things and do it together. So holla at us and we will keep our eyes peeled on that chat. And speaking of chat, guys, again, I'm just always so thrilled to see so many of you chatting with each other. I'm sure, you didn't even know each other before you came on the stream, and so many of you are, helping out and answering questions. It is really so awesome to see you all come together. And that's really one of the best things about a community, right? When you're learning, it's all about making mistakes. It's all about trying, iterating as much as you can, starting something, finishing something. But again, coming together at something like a game jam, right? You can join a team of people. You can even meet people online and then join them in a virtual space to jam together. That's kind of the coolest thing about learning gaming and game development. I guess, can you really learn gaming? You can learn game development. I'm not sure you can learn gaming. That's what my Discord crew tells me about my gaming skills in PUBG.
Feels like there's something there. Someone had mentioned first person camera. What do you feel about that? I think that could be kind of fun.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go back to the head end of there we go, of this guy right there. That's the one I want. And I'm just gonna right click and I'm gonna add a camera to that. And we're going to need to obviously fix some of that position and rotation stuff there because that's not right. There we go.
Woo.
Something like so. All right. I'm just looking at my camera preview to figure that part out. So there we go. First person camera. And I mean, that's a really, really cheap way of doing it. There are other things we can do. But I'm just going to turn off this other camera real quick just to be sure, so we're only seeing the one. And let's see what we get.
All right, Mike, while you're doing that, we have a lot of votes for power-ups, and we also had some requests from Dan Bennett to see some basic scripting. Dan, typically when we do these live streams, we do, get questions about scripting, but because all of these micro games come in with, pre-made script, we usually don't really go into it. Not that we could make an exception, particularly because we do have folks here that may be considered by some out there as, pretty versed in scripting, my Geig. So I'm just saying, it's entirely up to Mike to see whether or not he can take on Dan's request.
Sure. What do you want to make?
Well, are we gonna make any power-ups first? And could we blend the two and write a little script for the power-up?
So what do we want to do? What do we want to make the power up do?
What if we hit a bowling pin and on collision, it actually gave us a boost?
Okay. Now, I am going to warn everyone that I am not super familiar with what the scripts in this project are already doing, which is one of the things that can be very challenging when trying to write custom scripts. So if I'm trying to tie into the systems that are already there, I may or may not have success. However, I can make something certainly happen when we hit one of these, when we hit something. So yeah, let's go ahead and see. So we got a bowling pin, you said? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's find our bowling pin. That feels like a bowling pin to me. And it's just going to be a tiny one. I'm just going to put it right here because I don't want my agent to pick it up. I'm just going to leave it where I can't possibly miss it. So we've got this bowling pin, and maybe make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to make sure that it has a collider on it. So let's just do let's do a capsule collider, just like so. And I'm going to go ahead and just click Add Component. I'm going to go to Scripts, and I can create a new script. Well, no, I got to go down to New Script. That's what I meant to do. And what do we want this to do? When we hit it, it's going to do what?
What if it gave us a bit of a power boost when we hit it?
Power boost.
Or maybe it should make us drift. So like if we collide with it, it makes us.
Oh,
I got something better for you.
Okay.
So let's do explode other racer.
Perfect.
Right? I feel like that's
Balance out the skills.
yeah. I feel like that's the right way to go about this, because why not just have a little bit of a vendetta? So I'm gonna open this up here, and it's opening in my other monitor. So 1 second here. So we've got this script here, public class explode other racer. And I'm first off going to add a public variable, so something that I can see in the Unity inspector, and I'm going to add a rigid body, and then I'm going to call this other player RB, other player rigid body. And then I don't need any of these, so get out of here. I'm going to say, you know what, we're also going to do public floating point number, explosion force. It's kind of like Space Force, but not. And we'll just say 20F. I don't know if that's going to be good or not. And then I'm going to say void on trigger enter. That's going to say, all right, something has entered this trigger collider. What are we going to do here? And so I'm going to say, all right, so something has collided here. So let's blow up this other player. So let's say other player.rb, add explosion force. Gotta love that explosion force. And so what is that force? So I'm going to say explosion force. And then what is the position of that explosion force? So I should have thought that one through, but oh well. We're going to say other player.rb.gameObject.transform.position. It's a long one. Transform.position. But we don't want to blow it right at the position. We want to be a little bit lower. So if I'm going too fast, well, I know I'm going too fast. I don't even have to say that. But if I'm going too fast, just let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and say vector3 offset, and that's going to be equal to a new vector3. And so since I want to place this a little bit under the cart, I'm going to position it 0, -0.50. That, and then I'm going to do a vector3 explosion position, and that's going to equal my other player rigidbody.gameObject.transform.position plus my offset. So that's going to put the explosion right beneath the player's feet. Well, not feet, wheels. Feet wheels. So the explosion is going to be at my explosion position, and then what's the radius of that explosion? I don't know. Let's say 5. 5 feels good. 10. Let's see. The larger the radius of the explosion, the probably the more force it's going to have. So let's do 10. All right. So there we go. And that should, in theory, be all we need to do here. So if I come back to Unity, now obviously this script has a lot of things that could be improved upon it. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to drag this 4x4 onto here. That is going to be the other player's rigid body. You know, actually, let's make sure it works. The easiest way to make sure it works is just to add ourselves to it. So when we hit it, we should go flying up in the air. And there we go. Mutually assured destruction.
It's not a trigger. Oh, actually, what you're selecting.
Oh, yeah. So we aren't actually going to be able to hit it. That's a good point. So if I run into it, that's going to happen. Bullying is hard. So it's because my code specifically said on trigger enter, and this is not a trigger collider. It's a physical collider, which has no rigid body, which means it's unmovable. And so I'm just going to collide into it. So now I'm going to hit play after I've checked is trigger. And we are going to see this here. All right, so now I should hit this, and, well, it's hard to see. Now, this is where it gets interesting because I don't know what the other scripts are doing. And the other scripts might be negating that. That's where it kind of gets like, what's happening there? But otherwise, it should have been thrown up in the air. So, yeah, it's a bit lackluster, isn't it? That's the problem with custom coding when you're dealing with scripts that you don't know what they're doing. Let's verify that I just wasn't too low with the force. Use the force. That's right.
And again, guys, all of these microgame templates, the FPS template.
Oh, there we go. I just was too low with the force. I'm somewhere up there. Anyway, it'll come down eventually. Okay. So now on our bowling pin, we can add our. There we go. Basically, it's a bowling pin blue shell.
But a little bit too powerful for blue shell.
You think? I don't know. I've never been one from behind.
Blue shells all at once.
All right, well, you go ahead, Kart. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. So, all right. So, applying 200,000 newtons of force. No, 2 million newtons of force might have been excessive.
Just by a little bit.
I'm not willing to commit to that, but let's try this here. So yeah, some of these scripts are definitely offsetting some of that force, but you can overrun that. All right, so see, now that was too little. So yeah, so it definitely needs to be higher than 2,000. At any rate, 200,000, whatever. Okay, so we were able to blow it up.
Well, we also had another request too,
Sure.
and I feel like this one is a bit of a tribute to one of our co-workers. So you guys may already know Andre from Mix and Jam. He is known as a particle, king on our team, and we do have folks asking for particles. So Idiot Gaming, cool name, is asking to add particles because those are kind of cool. We could not agree with you more, and adding particles actually pretty simple, can really spice up your game, and shall we say we can add some particles?
What do we want to add particles to?
Well, I mean, since we are right now in a first-person driver, I feel like adding particles to the back of a vehicle is slightly, useless. So maybe we can add it to, maybe our trees can emit some sort of cool oxygen-like looking particles.
Oh, sure. I don't know what oxygen-like looks like, since oxygen's invisible to the naked eye. But I'm going to go ahead.
Master of the universe. You should be able to see these.
I'm going to go ahead and just
That's what oxygen looks like.
click on my tree here and add a component, a particle system right there. And and it's going to, what does it want to be here? So we can come up, I'm sure, with all sorts of materials for our particles.
It's just
I don't think we have an
Fantastic Four thing.
You know what? I should probably just grab the confetti, which is an actual particle to use. If I look here, we have confetti already. Look at that. Confetti already. And so it's going to be using, what is it using? Oh, it's using meshes. That's what it's doing. Interesting. All right.
I thought we had the glow texture set for the particles somewhere in the project.
We'll have it set to neon glow right here. But at any rate, there's a lot of stuff we can do around with this. But let's actually just get the look of our textures right first, because there are these here, and we can do cool things. So when dealing with particles, you have two things to think about. So you have the settings of the emitter, how often it loops, how much it emits, things like that. And then you have the settings of the particle itself. How much does the particle change over time and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and first off, I'm going to rotate. Nope, not right. I should probably be adding the particles as a child of this so I can fix that. So let's do that. So remove that. and I'm going to add a particle system as a child.
Excuse me, sir. Is this your child? Yes, those
Is
are my
this your-
particles. Come here.
Yeah. Oh, I thought I lost my particles. Thank God you found them. All right. So we're just going to rotate that up a little bit like that. Oh, come here, particle system. So that looks like oxygen. Sure. And so we can say, all right, well, does this loop? Because if it doesn't, it plays for 5 seconds and stops. But we're going to say loop. And we can say, what's the start lifetime now? So how long do particles live? And I can do things. I can do like a constant or curve or random between two constants, random between two curves. How fast are they going? So obviously the faster I set them, the faster they go. So what do we want this to look like? So maybe I'll come to the shape, and right now it's going to emit in a cone, and I can maybe just make that cone quite like that. Something a little bit like so. There we go. So it's going to emit kind of in a torus shape around the tree base like this. Oop, that was the wrong key. And we can go to the actual emission, and let's just crank those numbers up. There we go. Tons of them. But let's, yeah, what's pollen season, you know? And you really got to watch out for allergies. So what we can do is, well, you know, another really cool thing we can do is if we don't do rate over time, right, we can do rate over distance. And that basically means that as we move it, it emits because we've moved. Now, I have a maximum of 1,000 particles allowed, so that's why I didn't emit anymore. So let's just do 200 over distance. And then now it's still emitted all 1,000 of them right away. Let's go 3. So it'll take a little bit longer. There we go. So it emits them over a distance. So that's how you can do things like, you know, particles trailing behind you if you go really fast, and fewer will trail behind you if you go slow, things like that. But I'm going to go back to emitting, let's say 100 and 0 there. And that shape is, it's okay. We can also do a hemisphere.
Do a sphere for the...
Oh, you want to do a
tree
sphere?
itself?
We can do a sphere. Yeah,
I mean, the
absolutely.
tree itself is kind of a sphere, so yeah.
There we go. It looked like those weird white dandelion things that always get all over my yard.
Yeah.
There we go. And so you see how far the particles are going. So we can reduce down their lifetime. So they obviously die a lot sooner, or we can leave that high. And we can also, we can apply gravity to them. So we could do gravity, so they just sort of have a nice little arc to them.
Mike, it's as if you were looking in the chat and saw the DF's comment, okay, but can you add gravity?
Oh,
Nice.
I was not. No, you can, unfortunately. That's a lie. So there we go. I can also do, let's see here. So I want to do start color. Right now they're all starting as white. I could pick a color, but that's boring. So let's do this. I can actually go and do a gradient. And so that gives me this gradient picker out here, which I can do things like that, these sort of preset ones, or I can do yellow or red, and it's just going to pick a random between these here.
Mike, I feel like all the designers right now are watching and they may be like, what is going on here? But guys, don't fret. This is just to teach you the basics. Then you can take all the learnings and make your own stunning game. Not that I'm telling you, Mike, that yours isn't.
I was going to say, excuse me,
very pervy,
this,
very pervy.
I am an artist. I demand
Be Andre
respect.
here soon.
I demand respect. All right, and let's make this. I drive a Dodge Stratus. All right,
Oh, you drive a Roadster, thank you.
a Dodge Roadster. Okay, so there we go. Maybe I'm emitting a few too many. Just like,
I have a question for you.
what's up?
What kind of pollen is this?
It's rainbow pollen. It's a special kind from
okay.
this space. Also, you notice how the pollen is sort of starting from within this tree. So what I can do is I can actually make this sphere about the size of the tree there, and you know, I obviously have to position it and stuff like that. But then I can actually make it just only emit from the shell of it, which we've actually changed these since the last time I've done this. I think we just do that through the radius thickness to say, okay, they don't emit from inside, they emit from just on the shell of the object. And I want to maybe do some, not velocity over lifetime, I could do force over lifetime. Force over lifetime allows me to apply some force to them over the course of their life, which cause them to, you see how they're now just being kind of blown down the y-axis there, like so.
So I've been using the VFX graph for a while, and it's been a while since I've looked at the particle system. Is there turbulence that you can apply in the normal particle system?
You mean like noise?
Yeah, essentially.
Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
How nice of you to ask. And so we can apply it specifically to the y-axis or the z-axis, and then you get sort of this wavy sort of motion there, which is pretty cool.
I gotta simulate wind a lot better. So, yeah.
Look at that, man. Pro
And Mike,
level stuff.
Speaking of cool, do you know what is really the coolest thing that we can add to this track?
I do, but I'm not going to tell you. What was your opinion?
Well, I was thinking, I really was, that, some stun jumps is what we're really missing here.
Okay, well, do we want to add one maybe right over here?
Potentially, but it's allergy season. We gotta be careful.
That's right.
Soaryn.
What do you want to do, Soaryn?
All right, so we could. They do provide a stunt jump prefab, which would work for our needs. But at the end of a jump, we're probably gonna have something that's just lackluster. It's anticlimactic, so we need a reason to jump. So we're gonna add a checkpoint just outside of range of the ground.
Okay, well, where do you want this ramp and this checkpoint to go?
Probably at the.
How about in the slash straightaway?
Okay, so we can either do it on the top of the ramp or somewhere else in the track.
Why don't we bring this over here to say at the very end, we have to ramp and we move this checkpoint back and up.
Nice.
So in order to win, you have to fly through the Maui head, which doesn't have a collider on it.
It doesn't?
This one doesn't.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, this was the one I just placed upside down on that arch.
Okay, yeah.
And then, wow, I don't think we'll be able to get that high, but drop it down here, and we got this jump. How we feel about that?
Looks good to me. We need the...
I feel like
think I
the
jump a little
little
farther.
circle needs some fire flames around it, just for extra effects. Not that I'm saying you guys should do it, but it would spice it up.
You're hinting. You're hinting. You gonna make the fire? You want to come over here and do that? All right.
No.
Scope creep, Elena. You're expanding the scope on us.
I like this,
What do you
right?
call it?
The only
Backseat
thing-
driver?
Yeah, sure.
Pun
The only thing I think
intended.
is the problem with this is that you don't have to get the jump to get that checkpoint right now.
But
maybe a
you
little
want.
higher.
But you want to. How's that? I feel like
There you go.
that feels good.
Yeah. Now we gotta make Mike get the jump.
Okay. Is there anything else I need to do to set this up, or is that good?
Realistically, that should be all, but you could add a speed boost. I'm just worried about you and speed boosts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So there's only one way to get better at something, and that's to
1,000
practice.
gravity. Duh. Just
Nope, no.
thunk.
If something
And guys,
scares you, you gotta do it.
We have been going crazy here, doing all these modifications and asking questions from the chat and applying particles and whatnot. And I think we went slightly past our time to actually announce the next winner, which so many people have been submitting their screenshots, and some of them are absolutely heart-melting and horrible. I'm seeing date nights that are learning sessions of Unity. I'm seeing parents doing it with their kids. I'm seeing folks doing it super late, not even worrying about being tired tomorrow for work. Hopefully you guys are working from home though. But there is one person that I really wanted to shout out and also announce as our next winner. Actually, Hannah. Okay, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. Hannah Tona, is that how you say it? Hannah, she's been super active on the stream here, talking about the, how to transition into Unity while just knowing Photoshop, and sharing their progress as well on Instagram. So I think it's time that we announce the next winner. And Hannah, congratulations.
Good job.
You're our next winner of a $75 gift card to Unity Gear Shop. Thank you for hanging out, asking questions, being super active, and we're hoping that you're enjoying the learning.
Nice.
Applause time.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
We need a bright sign for us. Nice. All right. So we got a
Can
speed
you
pad
make this
here.
jump?
Can I make the jump? If I have my controller, maybe.
It's about the skill, not about the controller.
It's not about making the jump. It's about making it to the jump. So goodbye. I had to blow up my. That's the thing.
Poor guy.
Gotta make my own sound effects. Oh no! There we go. Really glad we turned the gravity up on that one.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just gonna line it up here. Yep. Bam.
Goodness.
Bam. Like a pro. I should have hit that bowling pin again just to blow the guy up again.
So, could we make it no longer first person? Just to, get the feel of the cart again?
You're asking too much. All right.
I'm asking too much. Well, I miss Mr. Universe Sandman guy there. I don't even know his name anymore.
Mr.
Jim.
Universe Sandman guy. Jim. Yeah. Guy named Jim. I like it. There we go. So we are no longer first person. I'll just turn that camera off. Turn the other one back on. And we should be anyway.
You broke it. There you go. Nice. I missed those bloom effects because you had...
Well, yeah, because the other camera wasn't seeing the post-processing. You're right.
No, it's not.
All right. Now what do we want to do?
Well, Soaryn, something else?
You want to change
good.
game mode?
Okay. Yeah, so how about we turn this into a different kind of game, where our objective is to knock down all the bowling pins, or maybe not the bowling pins, maybe something else. So let's first. You okay? Let's do donuts. We're all hungry here, I guess.
Right.
Let's first disable our current game mode. We have to navigate the scene hierarchy and disable objective time trial.
And that is right here. So objective time limit. Is this the one?
Or time limit, yeah, okay, yeah.
So this is the game object that sets up the rules for the game. This is the one that says, hey, you're trying to hit a time limit, and this is the amount of time you have and stuff. So we're just going to say, nope, I will not recognize your authority.
Yeah, exactly. And now we have to search for another objective. So just search for objective. And what we're looking for is objective crash mode.
Bam, I'll just drag that prefab in.
Just drag and drop it exceptionally. And now we're almost there, but not yet. We still need some objects to crash into. So we do our search again, and now we search for crash object.
Oh, we're going to search for crash object? All right.
Yeah, because it's also rigged, already rigged. Just drag and drop them on.
All right.
Yeah, let's add a few more. Yeah, let's just keep them coming.
I'm going to be terrible at this. All right. There we go.
Okay, and to be honest, that's all we have to do, because you could already
I'm making this really
press
easy.
play and you'll see that our objective is already changed. So you'll notice that in the UI it will say something different.
Knock down all the pins.
So exactly, and it will show you how much. Oh, those pins, yeah. 7 pins.
You didn't do that, sir.
And you have a couple more.
Where are they at? I didn't place them.
They're flying.
Did one pin hit another pin? All right, well, then I obviously need to spread them out a little bit. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so, life lessons. We're just gonna spread these, social distance these pins.
Yeah, because you have to hit them with your card. It doesn't count if one pin hits another.
Tricky.
This is crashing, not bowling.
Yeah.
Completely
Man. So not like bowling
Yeah.
at all. All right.
different. We can make bowling.
We could, actually, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see if I can do this. I'm still going to wait for that guy to go. Just so I can blow him up. See ya.
Never gets old.
One pin.
Yes,
Oh, there we
so
go.
fast.
There we go.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's like, you thought you
So-
got rid of me.
It's impressive that he made it back.
Yeah. So let's change our pins for donuts, how Elena suggested us.
Okay.
Yeah. All we need to do, again, just search for donut.
Donut?
Yep. Pick the first prefab and just drag and drop it onto our object. Yep.
Oh, I missed.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, now we have to align it. Mm,
Oh, the actual donut's actually pretty tiny.
it's-
So what happened there, just so everyone, in case anyone didn't notice, is so when I went to drag it on, I dragged it and I missed the object. I just placed it generally in the scene. And then when I reset the transform, it became very tiny because the donut is actually a very tiny model.
Oh.
And it is actually scaled up pretty significantly. So what I can do is I can just drag it onto that crash object. And instead of reducing the scale back to 1, I'm just going to 0 out these other ones, just like so. There we go. Like that. And
Awesome.
should we hide the
all we
pin?
have to do is disable the pin. Yeah.
There we go.
And we're all good.
And I'm going to go to my overrides because this is a prefab. And I'm going to hit apply all. And there we go.
Yes.
Donuts. I feel like we should animate those donuts.
Yeah, they need to either be spinning or going up and down or both.
Or both. All right, I actually added another 0 too to that explosion force. So
Yes, you did.
yeah, recover from that one. All right, there's one donut. 2. Oh no,
I
they,
see
they
the- oh,
spun
the
into each
collider's
other.
Collider's still based on the pin, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh, it
Yeah,
is still
yeah.
based on the pin. You're
Because the
absolutely right.
collider is small. Yeah.
Only
You
one
have
left.
side
I don't know which
collider.
one I didn't hit yet. Oh well.
You'll never know.
You'll never know. Was it you? It was. Haha.
Hey! Upside down.
Apparently you were wrong. All right. So there we go.
I'm wrong often. This is why people watch me.
There we go. Oh yeah, it's got that sphere collider on it right there. So all right, and oh, that's fun. Those look better than our pollen particles. Okay, what do you want to do? Do we want to make these
You can
rotate
use
real
them.
quick?
Let's do that. Yeah.
Let's do that. All right. So making these rotate is actually pretty straightforward. I'm going to go up to my window, and then I'm going to go to my animation, and I'm going to choose animation, not animator, animation. There we go. And that's going to bring up this animation window, which I'm just going to drop right down here. And now I'm going to go ahead and click on this donuts, and I am going to say, let's create an animation. And in my assets here, I generally like to create a folder named animations just to store it. And I'm going to call this donut rotate. Okay. And so now the easiest way to make this work is I can just put myself in record or record mode by hitting the record button. And then as I move the donut around, it records that as a keyframe. And so let's say that my initial keyframe is going to have a rotation of 0. And then how long do we want this animation to go? We go,
Just a second would be enough.
2 to 3 seconds is usually just a nice sweet point.
you guys just disagree with each other. So I'm going to go with 1.5.
1.5 is perfect.
There we go. And at 1.5,
Yeah.
I'm just going to rotate, we'll say 359 degrees. Right, so almost one full rotation. And we could just see how that looks. So if I want to preview that, look at that. Now you can notice it easing in and out like that, which seems a little weird. And so what I can do is I can go to the, not the dope sheet view, I can go to the curves view here, and I can actually see that easing that's taking place, and I don't want that to happen. So I could just click on this here, and I could just straighten it out. Same with up here.
Good also
You
change
just-
the linear.
Yeah, you can just right click and do it that way, but I'm just going to straighten that out so it has some variance to it. I could also just go weird with it and go like wee,
Oh, perfect.
which would make it go like that. I don't know why you'd want that, but you certainly could.
Amazing.
Yeah, but so there we go. Yeah, perfect. And let's also make it, bounce up and down. So begin record mode. We'll go back here. We'll make it high up. And then let's say about halfway, it's going to be like down. And then halfway again, it's going to be back up. Probably should have made a note of what that initial value was. So
Oh, you're
1.87,
pretty close. Wow.
1.92. I practice.
0.05 off. That's good.
Look at that.
Nice.
If that isn't a tantalizing donut, I don't know what is. Now, of course, I didn't hit apply on that prefab change, so only one donut is going to be doing its thing. Our donut got its groove back. And
We still haven't applied the physics.
we still haven't applied what physics?
The collider where it is in the donut.
Oh,
Because they're
right.
sinking in the ground.
You're right. Because the collider should be... Is this the collider it's based off of, or the collider here? No, that's just the sphere
No,
collider.
it's-
That's the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the collider. I don't know where I'm gonna just put it up here. I don't know why. Let's go ahead and hit apply. That's not gonna be correct.
That's
Not even
opposite
close.
Yeah, not a
Not even a
Even
little
more,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah. The funny
What
thing is,
could go wrong?
yeah, that could what could go wrong.
Donuts, they're in the ground. It's fine.
Yeah, probably move it down here a little bit. Like I said, I don't know how the scripts work as far as actually placing these things. So, I would have ideally just put a collider around the entire donut as it was, but we'll see what it does.
Yeah, they have one collider for physical being and the other one's for a trigger, but it's interesting to use the sphere.
Get out of here, donuts. No, don't collide in the other donuts.
It's like a modification of Sonic rings.
Yeah, donut rings.
Tastier versions.
Bam. Okay. But yeah, and you can use the animation window to animate or automate just about anything, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of cool, Mike, there are a few suggestions that I've seen in the chat that seems to me worthy a try. So James Bond actually said that, going along with the whole concept of living dangerously, that we should disable the brakes.
Well, why? I don't use them anyway.
So James Bond is saying we should just go ahead and not be able to brake here. And then we had a suggestion to make the donuts an actual power-up, whatever that means, a speed booster, or, if you guys are building this out and actually assigning health system to your driver, on collision to those sides of the roads, depleting health or whatever, it's up to you. But we could see if we can make a donut a power-up or take the brakes away.
So taking the brakes away can be done a couple ways, and we'll talk about that real quick. So first, I have this script here called the keyboard input script on the card itself that's looking for these. These are built-in input axes built into Unity, horizontal and vertical. So horizontal is left and right arrows, A and D keys on the keyboard, or the left to right on the left analog stick on a controller. And then vertical is up and down, or W and S, or forward and back on the left analog stick. So if I go into that script, I could modify the code to say, don't use any of the negative values of the vertical input axis, and then you couldn't brake. Also, alternatively, I could go into Edit and then Project Settings, and that was open my project settings window way over here, and I could just dock this right over here. I can go into Input Manager, and I can look for my vertical input. And here I have the positive button up and the negative button down. If I just delete the negative button, then I can't brake. The code will still say, oh, by the way, if you go into the negatives vertical, you'll brake, but I just remove the input capability, so it's just not possible. That's the easier way, of course, without needing to go in and modify the code, which is probably what I would do because I didn't write that script, and I'd have to look through it to figure out exactly how it's applying that code. I mean, I can if anyone cares, but it's probably not the most exciting. So if I wanted to remove brake, I would just come in here and delete down, alternative negative button, I'd delete S there. And if I wanted to delete it from my joystick, I'd go down to vertical here, and I would probably just change the axis type on there. But so that's how you might remove brakes. But like I said, I don't use them anyway, so I'm not going to bother removing them. Yeah, I'll just make sure that I definitely never use them. What was the other one? Oh, to turn them into a power-up?
Power-up, yeah.
Okay. Well, what do we want to use, like the same thing as like the speed? Like the arcade power-up script?
We could. It really depends. Like, there was also the element of health. So make it so as you picked one up, it restore, take away.
We could do... well, why don't we do this? So why don't I write a script? We're cool with me writing a script? Good, because I'm gonna write a script here, C# script, which I'll just call health. I always like to type health script, but it is a script, so saying script is redundant. So I'm just gonna call it health. No, I'm just whatever.
Health, yeah.
Health, yeah. What's this? Health, yeah. All right. And so then I'm gonna say, what is my roadster? I'm gonna drop some health on my roadster. So he's now a healthy roadster, and let's open this up here. And let's say public float starting health. Let's spell this right. Health equals 100 F for float. All right, so basically you start with 100 hit points, or HP to those in the know. And inside update, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say health minus equals time dot delta time. So you have 100 seconds to live. Yep, you're right. That's not right at all. Starting health minus equals time dot delta time. And then if starting health is less than or equal to 0, F, you dead, son. Clean yourself up. What do you want to do if you die? There's a way to trigger like you lose. I just don't remember what it is.
Why exactly are we using parentheses around the conditional?
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right, because I was typing very quickly.
Okay.
Captain
Just make sure there was some
Judgmental.
I don't know about.
Yeah, that's right. Parentheses everywhere. Everyone loves parentheses.
Ah.
What do we want it to do?
Well, a power up, right?
Let's explode.
Well, we want to do health. Well, they will be a power up,
What
but I'm basically
happens if
saying
we hit zero?
the player is dying.
Right.
I could scale the player down just over time, just so they get tinier and tinier. But then you wouldn't be able to
Why
get to the donuts. No, and given the way the script's written, that might actually mess it up. I tried messing around with scale, and it flipped out previously. So, what do we want to? I know there's a way to trigger like, "Hey, you've lost." I just don't remember what it is.
Well, why don't we ask the chat what they will want?
What do you guys want to happen when we run out there?
Yeah, on collision, what would you like to happen to our cart? Let us know, guys.
Well, I scroll through some code here to figure out what it is that I'm looking for.
And yes, anytime you're in C# and you see a number and has usually an F behind it, that is to indicate it's a float. This allows you to do basically floating point math. If you didn't include that, it would either be a double or an int, and those are two completely different data structures that could impact your game.
Yes, very much.
All right, guys. So
We can reuse our explosion
explosion, of
component.
course.
Yeah.
Explosion seems to be pretty popular. I'm not gonna lie. Or actually, Mike Crosswell has a really cool one. He says that on the collision with a donut, it should bring you back to the beginning. So really, it's not a power up. It's actually something that
A
takes
power
you back in
down.
place. It's a power down.
Well, then I don't get to use the health script I just wrote.
Well,
All right, wait. Let's do
sometimes
this.
Life throws donuts at you.
All right.
You gotta deal with them.
Let's do. Okay, so starting health is less than or equal to 0. We're just for now gonna do debug.break, which is gonna basically stop the execution of our game in editor. It's not a great solution right now. We could also do application.quitGame, which means closes out your game if you've run out of health, or I can make it just pop up and say you lose or whatever. But basically, we'll do this and then we'll do the other thing. So you have starting health. It's going to be reduced every second. If you're done, it's going to leave, or if you're dead, it leaves play mode. And then what we can do is we can say, let's create another script here. And I'm just going to go ahead and create another script. It's going to be donut power. And I'm gonna cheat a little bit in this script here.
I feel like that should be a restaurant name with like gourmet donuts, donut power.
Right?
I'd go there.
So I'm going to do void on trigger enter, like so. And here's how I'm going to cheat. I am just going to do game object dot find object of type, which is, you really shouldn't do this.
No.
Actually, you know what? Here. So I'm not teaching you something terrible. I'm just going to do void start. I'm going to put start back there. And I'm also going to create a variable that's going to be health, player's health. There we go. And in start, we're going to cache that result. So I'm going to say player's health is going to be equal to GameObject.findObject.type health. So it's going to say, hey, there's only one health script in the scene. Find it and store it. This is a very slow method, so you don't want to do this inside update or anywhere else. We're going to do that inside start when everything is initializing. That's okay. And then I'm going to say, all right, so if something is collided with this, then we are going to say player's health dot starting health, not the greatest standards there, plus equals how much time we want to give them. Let's say 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Can we make that a
9. Because we don't believe in 10.
Oh,
no?
that's an excellent point.
No. Can we make that a public field though?
Make what a public field?
The value that you're incrementing by.
We certainly can, but I'm not gonna. All right, so no, I will in a second here, but I want to show that it works. And so what we can do we really want to get into fields right now? I don't know. So we're going to drop the donut power on here, and then we're going to apply that. so that all the donuts have this donut power script. So now if I click on the Roadster player, which is my player, we're going to see health, and I'll hit play. And I'll show the other part working too when we run out of health. But let's see here. So time is ticking down. We actually had a lot of time get added. I have a feeling they collided with the ground or something like that and gave me a bunch of time. Yes, they're colliding with each other. Really didn't think that one through. So let's see here. So let's do,
Well, let's just go back to your trigger and make sure it is colliding with the player. Just on collide, and you get the component.
Yeah.
If it has the health component, then yay. If it doesn't, skip it.
Well, what I was going to do here is I was just going to change the layer that is allowed to collide with, but or the name. I could say, all right, what's the player's name?
No.
Roadster player. Again, super hacky, but whatever. Donut power on trigger enter. We're going to say if other dot game object dot name equals Roadster player, then we do that there. So if anything else hits it, it doesn't care. Only if it hits the Roadster player.
Chat, don't
Does
do this.
that game object has the collider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. See, well, I had it for a second there, but yeah, they are on the sort of the parent of this donut.
Mm-hmm. On the top one.
So there we go. Time is ticking down. Doesn't matter if he hits them and sends them all flying. I'm still dying, and then I hit them and it adds time. No, it doesn't. Because
No, it doesn't. Because you're not the...
Oh, because the actual collider
Yeah.
that collides the thing is Kart collider.
This is why you
Yes.
don't do name-based things
Yes.
ever.
Well, of course not, but I'm trying to go fast. Okay.
All right,
Anyway.
guys. The
Yes.
chat is saying that this is becoming a little advanced for our beginners, so let's take it down a notch a little bit.
You're
Let's
the
put
one
that
who
beginner
recommended
hat
it,
on.
Elena. All right.
Look,
So.
I cannot always be perfect, okay?
All
None
right.
of us are.
All right. You win. You win. Okay.
Close enough.
But basically what we have is we have a script that counts down. We have some donuts. And as you saw, getting the collision hit the right thing can be challenging because it's just going to say whenever I hit anything, right? So we can stop worrying about that now. Yeah, and someone said, why not use tags? And absolutely, you can certainly use tags. You can use layers. There's a lot of ways. We can. Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. But so what else did we want to do that I got stuck messing with the health too long?
Let's show a little bit of post-processing if we
Yeah.
are doing sessions.
Good call.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mike, but we will have to disable what you've built here. I mean, all the bloom, all the funky colors. So let's first click on the profiler, on the profile selector thingy,
Okay.
circular selector. Yes, because Unity also provided us with a bunch of pre-made profiles. So let's cycle through them.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I like that one, that old-timey
Double
profile.
button.
And so the
Yeah.
old-timey we can see is vignette and grain, some color grading, which is how they got that sort of old-timey feel there. My favorite bloom,
3 bloom.
and some ambient occlusion, which we can see just adds shadows and contrast there. Okay, so that's our old-timey. What else we got?
Yeah.
Noir. Oh,
Noir.
Oh.
It was a dark and stormy night. Very bloomy.
Yeah.
it was a dark and
Yeah, because
bloomy
we're all
night.
shining. Yeah.
There we go. We can just turn that bloom down a little bit there. Oh, I like
Nice.
that.
Oh yeah. I want to test this out.
That's all them donuts doing game object.find. There we go. I like it. Oh, man, I really glow now. There we go. Really should grab my controller.
Now, there's something before we continue that I wanted to check to see if this worked. It should work with this project because it's 2019.3. In your project settings in the editor, there's a way to turn on something that's experimental called fast play mode. And that time that you spend waiting for the game to start up after you hit that play, it's at the very bottom of the editor.
Play mode
first
settings.
checkbox for enter play
Yep.
mode, and just turn that on and hit play.
There you
Look how
go.
fast it is.
It is
It's
very
so good.
fast.
Now,
And
note that is
Awesome.
experimental, so if something's going right,
Learned
turning
something
that
new
off.
today.
yeah, well, do you know why
Yeah.
what it's doing? It's no longer reloading or recompiling any scripts, right? So it doesn't need to check for like statics or anything that that needs to be recompiled or anything like that. So if you do make a lot of script changes, you're gonna see them not being reflected until you either turn that off or you say, hey, reload the domain or whatever. But yes, it is experimental, but it's very cool if you're doing just a lot of scene tweaks and things like that, and you want it to load very quickly.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we
Speaking
could show off.
of cool things,
We could
Roman.
show off. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
I think
because
some internet
because
delay.
the delay. Yes, yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all we wanted to say. We could show off a dreamy profile. That's the last one we have here. Yeah.
Look at that.
And if you want to tweak your own look, like Mike already said, there are numerous effects like bloom to make everything dreamy, or depth of field for that shallow DSLR look. If you've ever used any color correcting software, you'll feel at home with color grading. And you know what? I'm all for adding motion blur to smooth out to have that smooth and fluid look.
You want to add some motion blur here? Do you want to? Which profile you want to do it to? You want to do it to this dreamy one or some other one?
Let's do it with ours. Let's get back to our
Okay, so the
one
one
you made.
I didn't make that. That's sort of the built-in
This
one.
one.
But
Yeah, but we kind of modified it. Yeah.
yeah, so you want to do motion blur? So I can just click Add Effect, Unity, and I can do some motion blur here. And any particular settings you want for the shutter angle and count?
Yeah, let's crank it up all the way. It's in the shutter angle. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, that was so fast. Yep, I don't know if it's noticeable in the stream. How it is on your end, Mike?
Yeah, you can see a little bit. I don't think we're using all the let's see if we want to turn
Sample
that.
counts.
I actually don't use motion blur all that much, so I don't know what the settings do. I was never using it.
Yeah.
So there we go. So yeah.
But no, it should look a little bit smoother. Yeah.
I do a lot of, well, I like the vignette, right? So vignette's always great because we can just, there we go. Yeah. There you are. Just really focus in. That one's good. I just go wild with these. I do like some chromatic aberration, because who doesn't like chromatic aberration? That causes that.
I raise my hand.
That's 100% AAA. Yep.
Oh, look at that. Look at
I
that
turn it off
banding.
every time I get a chance.
Look at that banding. We got some, well, and then we also got our lens distortion, right? So if you got to go fast, you got to go fast. There we go. Oh, God, this is so good. I mean, this is...
I feel like a fish that just was not fed correctly.
I feel like a fish that was put in a cart and it doesn't know what it's doing, but for some reason eats donuts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think the warping of reality should probably be toned down just a little.
You think a little bit? All right.
Some may be getting sick.
Just a scotch? Okay. So you can see I'm not an artist. I feel like at this point in the stream I should probably preface by saying that. So there we go. All right. Any other post-processing we want to do, or we like that?
We like that.
I mean, like is a bit of an extreme. Maybe like
I can
is not.
tolerate that.
Yeah, let's maybe turn it down a tiny bit there.
And Mike, while you're playing with making the game look exactly as you wish, I think it's time that we announce our next winner. And you guys, we did say that we'll also be picking winners from the microgame karting group on Unity's Connect. And so we've seen some cool submissions there. People are participating and joining us from the start. So Brian Branch is going to be our next winner. Brian has joined us a while back. Hopefully Brian is still modding the game, and we'll share the game with 10 plus friends. Or wait, is it 9 or 11?
9 or 11, it's your choice.
9 or 11.
You get all the choices.
I mean, it's
on
up
average,
to
10.
you, Brian. But on average 10. So Brian, congratulations. You are our 5th winner on today's stream. And you guys, of course, if you haven't already joined the Connect group, go ahead and do so. That's where you can, join in with other creators that are modding, outside of the live stream. Because once this ends, you can still carry on chatting in the Connect group. Mm-hmm. Congrats, Brian. And let's keep on moving on.
Right on. Good job. Fantastic. What's next? What do we want to do? We got some post-processing here. What do we want to do? What do you guys want to do?
Well, I mean, you've done a lot, right? And we did say that we were going to teach our viewers how to upload the game back to the WebGL after
That's
they've done
true.
some modifications, so that you can share the game with your community after you've already, tricked it out once you've learned a bit more. Because once you've uploaded it, you don't have to stop. You don't have to create another project. You can just continue modding, and once you upload, it will essentially update your game. So, Mike, do you want to show us how to do that?
Absolutely. I am going to, because I would have forgotten otherwise. I'm going to go back to my roaster. I'm going to turn off that health script, so I don't want it trying to debug.break on us there. So, and since I've already done the build once, I don't need to actually go back to the build settings. I can just hit Control B or Command B, and that's just going to kick off a build here. In theory. Build, there we go. It just took a second. And while we're doing that, whose game should I be playing here? What do you want to play? Oh, did it finish building already? Oh, no, I had errors. What did I do? Something in my code. What did I do? Uh-oh. What did you do?
You have the assemblies changed? Yes.
You know what? We did do this interplay mode. That was something that changed, so I'm going to turn that. Oh, you're right. The assemblies
We
for
added the machine learning.
We added the machine learning. Correct. We need to change that. Now, unfortunately, I don't remember which ones those are. Do you have those written down?
I actually have it open. Oh, I had it open. Drat. I closed it. You can go ahead and go to, I believe, either Barracuda or machine learning in their search.
Okay. So we can
You're
look
looking for ASD. Try machine. Oh, ML. I'll try to get the thing.
So what's effectively happening is basically the machine learning agents that we have in here, the code to them, is just actually set to not build for WebGL, just by default. And so what we effectively need to do is we just need to tell them that, hey, it is okay, in fact, to do that. So I believe I need to actually update Barracuda. Is that correct? I'm thinking back through the steps that we did before.
Yeah, to 0.6, I think.
Yep.
Not the latest. The latest one I think broke.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Window, I'm going to go to Package Manager, and I'm going to make sure that in this dropdown I select all packages, and I'm going to look for Barracuda, and I am going to go ahead and just expand here because you're telling me that 0.7 isn't working with WebGL. So I'm just going to click See All Versions, and I'm going to click 6.3, which is the version I tested, and I'm just going to hit Update to 6.3 or 0.6.3. And that is going to be a part of it there. And then the other part is I need to just click on two assemblies here that is going to say, you know what, you are allowed to build for WebGL. I had those written down somewhere. And do you happen to remember now what the names of those two are?
One of them I know is ML Agents Toolkit.
Perfect. Yeah, I wrote them in our communication channel. So I'm sure I can
just
scroll up and find them, or you can, or whatever. Yep. I had forgotten we were going to do that. So shame on me. But we're updating here. And then, okay, do you know which ones I'm changing here? So you said it was ML Agents Toolkit. So I'm just going to click on ML Agents Toolkit right here. And I'm going to click, you know what, you are allowed to work on WebGL. And I'll hit apply.
Kart Game AI.
And the other one is
Kart Game and then .ai.
Kart Game .ai. And again, the only reason is because these were just turned off for WebGL, and it's still showing me the old one. There we go. Turn this one on. I'm gonna hit apply, and that should be it. It's just those three things: updating that and enabling these to build on WebGL. If you didn't use ML agents, you wouldn't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
All right, and once that's done, now I can just build, and this time it should work. Give it a second. So again, Control B or Command B will kick off a build. It does look like this time it is not erroring out. Nope, it is. Oh. So that wasn't it. Well, you guys. We had it all prepared too. Gotta love it when you're doing this stuff live. So one of them has failed. Did you look at the list and confirm that that's what it is?
Yeah, it's Barracuda, ML Agents, Toolkit, and Kart AI. Make sure the WebGL is all ticked on for those.
Wait, was something about Barracuda? Which one was that?
Barracuda is the package you just updated.
Okay, and then the ML Agent toolkits?
Yeah, and then the Kart Game AI.
Okay, well, we have errors. I apologize for everyone watching here. I don't know what it is that is actually causing that error. we did write some other code. Something could be messing with something that's already in here. So it could just be that I need to close Unity and reopen it, especially after enabling that experimental thing. That's why we don't generally enable experimental things on live streams, because then we get things like this. So I'm going to blame it on that. Yeah. Should I close Unity and reopen it, or do we just want to, what do you want to do?
Let me just try building mine because I turned it on.
Oh, Mike, why don't we show, didn't you make your own version of a game? And guys, also, you know, just, I mean, case in point, right? Mike, how long have you been using Unity now?
At least 3 weeks.
At least 3 weeks.
Not,
at least for the last 2.5 hours.
8 or 9 years.
Right, 8 or 9 years, and you're still going to run into these issues. So when you're watching this and, you know, if you're becoming discouraged, don't. It doesn't matter how much you know. It doesn't matter, you know, how pro you are. These things will always happen. And when you're just starting, just, you know, Google things. Ask people in the creator group. Go on forums. Tag Mike Geig on Twitter. He loves answering questions on Twitter, right, Mike? You know, these things will happen. These things will just always happen. So don't get discouraged, you know. Failing is part of the process, right? And then eventually one day it'll all click. So don't you worry. But for now, Mike Geig's masterpiece.
Here we go. It is the micro game, or micro machines here, and this is kind of like the old Nintendo game, but now I have to control it with both hands at the same time to get them to race together, and it's challenging. But the cool thing is I set up the camera system to basically say, oh, well, make sure that they always stay on camera. And I just, again, did that no code. That's just using Cinemachine. It has a group shot feature to make sure they always stay on screen. And I don't know which hand is controlling which one. So this is, no, oh wait, red one is that hand. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're going to make this together. We're going to do it.
Ooh, something to do for your game later. Right trigger is one car, left trigger is the other, and then the analog sticks are separate.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Ooh,
we made it. We made it. What happened? Yep.
Oh.
We win. Okay, so that's my game there. Did it build for you?
It's building. Yeah, it hasn't aired out yet.
Okay, then it.
So something weird.
Something weird. You know, I almost have to wonder if it is the debug.break, because that does not exist in in builds. But yeah, it might be one of those things. I was looking at some of this other code. But at any rate, we'll try one more time. Otherwise, it could very well be that experimental thing. It could be, it's hard to say what it could be. But yeah, because even without doing the WebAssembly stuff, it should still build. The carts just won't run. So so that none of that should be causing an error. But we'll try it one more time here. It's my builds folder. We'll see what happens. Maybe if I don't hit Command B, but if I just actually click that off. But what we'll see there is if it is successful, nope. So something else is going on. It's not the code I wrote. But if it was successful, then we could still just go to Window, share WebGL game. It would share, again, overriding the one that you had with your new one, so the link stays accurate and you can continue to share your game with friends. So sorry I couldn't demonstrate that for you. It's probably one of those things that the moment we hop off the stream, it's gonna be like, oh, I just didn't check that. But
Yep.
But in the moment, that is sometimes how it goes. Yeah.
And it's okay. It's totally fine. It's okay. Again, guys, this is a benefit of, you know, being here live. You see us sweat nervously, but this stuff happens all the time. It doesn't matter how many times you opened Unity before or haven't. This will happen to you. So just part of the process, no worries at all. But Mike, also, if I'm not mistaken, after you do a secondary upload, don't you unlock yet another new card as a way of congratulating you on doing super awesome?
Yeah, I believe that's where you get the 4x4. So you get the Roadster the first time, the 4x4 the second time, if I am not mistaken. I just submitted 2 originally right off the bat and then had both of them, so I don't know which one unlocks which.
That's right. And guys, it is, you know, we only have a few minutes left until the end. It's amazing how fast the time flew by. We've been here for almost 3 hours. So right now is your chance to throw some really crazy things at Mike, Soaryn, and Roman to request, you know, to produce on stream while we're live. And hopefully we will not further break things because we will not be accepting any code related requests right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my fault, guys. That was my fault. I was just trying to live dangerously. But if you all want to request any sort of last things that are on your mind, if you have any questions about what we've done in the past, maybe something just didn't click and you want to see it again, please do ask us. And in the meantime, we're just going to kind of round this off and, get ready to hand this over to YouTube to process into a video, because as much as we had an awesome time, all good things in the end come to an end.
That was great. So poetic.
Yes.
Because water is wet.
Because I mean, you could even say that I came up with that one myself. It's never been said before.
All good things that end come to an end. Yeah. # deep.
1 second, guys. Brick is asking, how do we claim the gift card? Well, Brick, it depends on where you want. If you want on Instagram, look out for the DMs. On Twitter, same DMs. And again, if you want through the Creator Connect, that's where you will receive it in the DM. So just keep your eye out for it. If you guys are following Unity from what Soaryn mentioned, you don't actually have to open the DMs. Unity can just send it to you in direct message on Twitter. So if that's the case, that's pretty awesome. And yeah, it's all going to be in your direct messages, not like the second after the stream is over, but shortly after. So don't panic if it's not there within 60 seconds.
So we had a really good request actually here. So how do you get it to make the car go back to the beginning of the track if you leave the track? And so what you can do is actually this, which is a good suggestion there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a 3D object. I'm going to create a plane. This is going to be my ground plane. I will just set that to like 0, 0, 0. Maybe move it up a tiny bit. And I'm just going to make it huge. There we go. And it's got a collider on it already. And so now I'm going to just write a script. And this is going to be my position reset script. There we go. And why would you do that? There we go. That's what I want to do. And so I'm going to have a public, we'll just say position, or no, vector 3, come now, vector 3, which I'm going to say is original position, like so. And then I am going to basically say here on, we'll do an on trigger enter. So on trigger enter, we're going to say other dot, can I do other dot transform? I can, dot position. It's going to be equal to original position. There we go. And I'm going to say other dot rotation, no, transform dot rotation. It's going to be equal to everyone's favorite quaternion dot identity, which basically is just a super geeky way of saying no rotation whatsoever, or just straight on down the forward vector. So now all I need to do is in Unity, I'm going to click on this. And actually, I'm going to look at my cart and see what is my cart considered to be its original position. We can, easily create an empty game object to represent that or whatever, or I can just say 13, 1, 2.5. Sure, we'll just type that in. I'll drop this position reset script to my plane, and we'll just say 13, 1, 2.5. That's just a very easy way of doing that. And perfect. And then on my plane as well, we don't need to see it. And so now if I hit that plane, it's going to just basically warp whatever hits it to this spot. And again, we could say make sure it's the player or whatever. I should probably like zero out any velocity so I don't teleport there and then still just keep flying off or whatever. Now, there's a lot of ways we can do this, but this should oh, did I?
Oh dear.
Think everything's warping to that spot. Everything warped to that spot because I didn't push it down far enough. I don't think. Yeah. So let's we'll move our ground. Let's just do this. We'll move our ground plane away a little bit. And where is that plane I created? There it is. Turn this mesh renderer on. Let's do that. And it's one of those things where it has to be the player that's hitting it. So, but we're just saying anything at all. And so everything is hitting it.
So, yeah, you could sort just anything that's a tag with player, but
yeah, this should work. Oh, I meant to actually ramp off there. Can I climb over the side? There
you have a fancy jump. That works.
Oh no, because I didn't turn it into a trigger.
Yeah.
There we go. So it's got a collider. I'm going to make it convex and is trigger. There we go. There's so much stuff. Yeah, because I did in trigger enter or on trigger enter. I could have done on collision enter. And then I'm hitting it right away again. Come on, plane. You know what? Let's get rid of that mesh. Let's add a box collider. I prefer those anyway. There we go. Make it smaller. Make it a trigger. I have a feeling something is just causing me to fall a little bit. There we go. Let's see what happens there. Should be good. I should not be hitting it now. Though I did put a negative for the size. What's that?
I love that word should.
I know, and I did a negative for the size, which basically inverted the box. So that should be better. There we go. And why is the plane still so high up there? There we go. So unless for some reason your collider falls to this floor, there's potentially no way you're hitting it at this point. There we go. Something has warped to this spot now and hit me, but whatever. Okay, I don't know what the
points.
I'm gonna be real clear with everyone right now. I don't know what the scripts in this game are doing.
So,
like all the scripts that drive the cars and stuff like that.
In this case,
I don't know
the
what they're doing.
checkpoints are touching your grounds, and they're
Yeah.
all warping.
They're all because the checkpoints have rigid bodies on them, don't they?
Yeah.
No, or the child of them maybe has a rigid body. I don't know, something. I don't know what the scripts in this project are doing.
They don't need a rigid body. They just need a collider.
Yes, but that's one of those things too, and that's important kind of to point out is that you inherit some project. It does take a little bit of time to look to see what the code is doing, what's driving the carts. How are they figuring out where the ground is? How are they applying gravity? Where are their colliders? If I look, in theory, that plane should be so far down that things aren't really going to be hitting it, and yet, as we've seen time and again, that's not really the case. And so yeah, they're all kind of doing some bit of odd things, and yet that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you just have to spend some time learning the scripts. And on this one, we did not, because I wasn't expecting to do any coding, or else I would have spent a lot more time on it. So here we go. So now the plane is way far down there. You shouldn't hit it, but if I get off the track, maybe I should just get up here and just fly up.
I like the conceded defeat.
Yeah. Okay. And so at that point, it's doing this where it keeps wanting me to move up there, but the actual physics in that script is saying no. What's down there? I feel like there was something down there. Oh, look at that. I don't know what that line is.
That might be the skybox.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, I feel that was lackluster. It is what it is.
It's a cool concept to
It's
have another track.
honestly, yeah, and those scripts will be the ones that'll do it for you. But it really depends on what the code in the project is already doing. And in this case, if we look at it here, the actual arcade script is doing a lot of gravity and things like that for us, and so it stores its own values, and it's really a little bit harder to overwrite them.
And guys, also, if you're joining Unity for the first time, you've never opened the engine before, there's an option for you. And if you're a programmer, right, if you know how to write your own code, there's an option for you to start with a blank project. These projects that we've shown in live streams, the FPS microgame template, as well as the karting template, are meant for people that really are coming in with very little experience. Maybe you have some design knowledge, maybe you have some general kind of understanding of how game engines work, but that's kind of why all these things are pre-written for you, to Mike's point. If you are interested in coding in particular, there are a bunch of other initiatives that you can actually join within Unity right now that are also free and open to anyone. You can join our coding series, right, and learn C#, as that's what Unity is using. So do check them out. I see that Ashley has been posting links in the chat, so that's super. Thank you, Ashley, so much. And in the meantime, if you're just starting and you're scared of the code, you can still be playing with these microgame templates without being scared. If you don't want to dig into the code just yet, it's also just fine. You'll still be able to produce something really cool, and it's that sense of accomplishment that's going to get you over to the next stage where you'll get brave enough to start dealing with the code.
Absolutely.
And guys, we are getting close to the end of the stream here. We still have one more winner to announce, and this one is coming from the Connect group for karting creators. And we are going to give the last gift card to Yuan Dominic. Yuan has joined us from, I believe, Philippines, and has been creating with Mike, Roman, and Soaryn and myself since the beginning. Congrats, Yuan. You are our last winner. For today. So thank you all for submitting your screenshots, modifying the game, interacting with us on chat. It is really a blast. And these are very different from, reading your comments in a video, because we can actually address your questions live, make mistakes live, write code we weren't expecting. Sorry, Mike. And it's just really the best way to just get started, throw yourself in head first. And we are hoping that right now you're looking at a pretty cool version of your very own game that you've made. So if you did actually participate, but maybe you were too shy to show us screenshots and you wanted to show us the final, project, go ahead and share a link to your WebGL with us on Twitter, and we'll be thrilled to go ahead and check it out. So that would be something that we'll really look forward to at the end of the stream. And we also announced the winners earlier of the karting challenge, the Need to Kart. Mike, I think you have an announcement for the second one, right? And how people can enter. So why don't you tell us?
Yeah, so basically there is the Need for Kart 2 challenge. And so this is basically just a friendly contest where beginners can submit their modified karting micro game, for a chance to get your game featured in an online showcase, which is pretty slick, alongside, other new Unity creators. So basically, if you follow along, you've been doing modding with us and stuff like that, then you're basically ready to just submit, right? So you're game to the challenge. You basically need to go to, and I have a page here. Oh, there's a link in the description already. You need to go to the Need for Kart 2 challenge page. I don't need to show it because the link is in the description. And starting tomorrow, basically. And then you're going to click Start a Submission, and then it's going to give you the instructions to submit your game from there. And we just want to check out all the really cool stuff everyone makes.
Yeah.
Oh, and the deadline, I forgot to mention, the deadline is May 26th. So you got some time.
Super. All right, guys. And sadly, we're a few minutes over, which is totally fine, but it's our time to say goodbye.
Unacceptable.
So any final last words of inspiration, Soaryn, Roman, Mike, to all of the absolute beginners that joined us today? Anything that you want to let them know as to what they should be looking forward to in their game dev journey?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things is that if you ever want to learn in Unity, there's a lot of resources out there, but the biggest one that's going to probably help you most is just on your own, figure out some tiny task that you want to do and just try to accomplish it. Doesn't have to be big, just try to accomplish it. And over time, all those will stack together, eventually make something you want to make, be it a game, be it production value, be it Roman's agony biography, whatever it may be, you can make it.
Very nice.
Yeah, totally agree, Soaryn. And I just wanted to add that I remember my first week with Unity. I began by following basic tutorials, and when I learned just enough to start experimenting stuff on my own, I decided to make a little prototype based on the original XCOM games, which I loved playing in my teens. So believe me when I say that it is really hard for me to even translate to you my surprise when I finished what I supposed would take me whole week to make in just the first evening. So that singular experience just shattered all my preconceptions about the impossibility of doing game dev. So yeah, that right there is when I realized that the fear of unknown was just way more stronger than the reality of things. So, and don't get me wrong, game dev can take each and every minute of your life going on forward, and you'll be learning new stuff every day. But that doesn't mean you have to invest years before you produce something. I have witnessed people making games in their first days of launching Unity from scratch. Simple, of course, but that's how it starts. You ramp up complexity as you go, and not just jump in straight into making an open world FPS.
Awesome. So I'll add something to that. as you're learning to build, right? Don't be afraid of just making something silly and ridiculous and over the top. A lot of people get caught up on I'm not good at this, so I'm not going to do it, or I'm not an artist, so I won't draw, or I'm not a sound designer, so I won't have audio, or whatever. Screw it. You just draw. Microsoft Paint, draw all your art, whatever. Record your own sounds with your mouth. Sing the music. Build something ludicrous. Just absolutely bonkers. Why not? Right? That's the fun of it. That's why, look at my game, right? Why not? Don't get caught up in the things you aren't, right? Just focus on the things you can be. Right, and I think that's really, really #deep, really important, and right, and it doesn't have to be fun as long as it's fun to you, right? And that is probably the most important thing to get started, right? You can worry about all the other boring stuff later. Enjoy it, right? It's really, really cool.
Thank you guys for that. It's
Totally
definitely
agree, yeah.
coming from the mouth of those that have been doing this for a long time, have projects they're working on, that are becoming commercial projects, using Unity to augment the experience of your viewers in terms of, Soaryn's experience on Twitch and Mike teaching Unity for so long, to a global community. I don't think you could really get advice from a better number of people. And so, again, just to kind of round this all up, guys, game dev can be daunting, right? But it is joining events like this that'll help you really see that, it is possible one step at a time. YouTube is there, forums are there, your friends are there, we're there. Ask us questions, and, hopefully you will be able to achieve your vision. And, nothing could make us happier than seeing you guys to actually realize a vision of whatever it is that you're trying to make, right? And to Mike's point, your first game doesn't really have to be that difficult, right? Just starting out small and building on the complexity, and it's just such a amazing experience and gives you so much gratitude to see something you've made on your own. I remember the first time I made something playable, which, Mike, you did help me with. It looked awful, but by the end of it, I was just so proud that my little dude was able to get over from one side of the screen to another and escape the man-eating sheep. That's right, you heard it. The man-eating sheep.
That's right. I remember that game. That was good. That was good.
Yeah. So guys, just take
Is it still
part.
out there?
Oh my gosh, it is definitely not. It is not.
Now you have to ask yourself: is it a sheep that eats men, or is it a man eating sheep?
Well, it was the sheep-eating man. Remember, it was rolled reversed.
It was a joke because you said you're running
from.
from a man eating sheep, and
It's a sheep.
due to the English language, it could be either. But I remember which one it was. But anyway.
That's right. And actually, speaking of languages, Mike, it's like you're giving me all these cues. Typically, at the end of the stream, we thank our international community in our native languages. We've seen people from all over the world here today. So, do you guys want to say goodbye in your native language?
I choose not to do it native.
Sure. It's easy for me.
No, what were you going to do?
To be fair, since my native language is English, and I've been talking English this whole time, I was going to try to say goodbye in Swahili, and then I looked up how to say goodbye in Swahili and thought, that's not for me. I know adios. That's Spanish. That's not my native language, but it's different than English, so I'll pick that one. But yeah, otherwise mine's very boring. So I'll just say goodbye in English. And Soaryn, you have to do it in native language.
My native language is English.
Well, okay then.
I'll do it in Finnish though. We can say moi moi or moikka.
Oh, there you go.
That's right. Roman, so since you and I speak one language in common, do you want to do Latvian and I'll do Russian?
Oh, okay. No, let's do Russian both. We can do it together and just
with the delay. That's great.
say something to the whole community.
All right. Дорогие зрители, большое спасибо, что вы с нами провели сегодня время. Роман?
I mean, that's a really long goodbye. Your word for goodbye is very long.
We don't just say goodbye. It's like the final goodbye.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
The extended version.
Yeah. Если кто-то провел с нами все 3 часа, то вам просто памятник, ребята. Это круто.
И мы надеемся, что вы нас
conversation
с нами время. I said extended
И
version.
если вдруг у кого-то еще остались вопросы, смело пишите мне, я постараюсь на все ответить. А так пишите всем остальным тоже. Спасибо, что были с нами.
Yeah, now I'm just like, I just
We're
said
American.
goodbye. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's a whole thing we like. As you leave on your game dev journey, remember these 3 things. No,
Please
yeah,
return the glasses on your way out.
that's right. That is correct. Sure. All right. Goodbye, everyone. Fantastic.
Take care.
All right, guys. And
Yeah.
again, if you joined us too late into the stream and you've missed the beginning, shortly after we end the stream, it is going to be processed into a YouTube video. So you can always go back and catch up with what you missed in the beginning. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media pages. Links should have been, on the screen, on the thumbnail for this live stream. And if you can't find us otherwise, please feel free to ping my Geig.
Do it. I dare you.
just do it. And thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye. So we lied. We're not done. If anyone's still here, because I figured out why it wouldn't build. You know what? I am gonna turn your guys' volume back on too, in case you do happen to want to talk.
Oh no!
But so you can see my screen here. It is building. See, it figured out the build. The problem, and as soon as this build finishes, I'll show you. It was the Roadster, the original Kart, not the Roadster, that I originally turned off, but I didn't delete. And so it turns out something in that code, again, always look at the code, see what it's doing. Something in the code is it wasn't able to have two instances in the scene at the same time. So I added the new Roadster, and I only disabled the old Kart, and they were fighting with each other. And by deleting the old Kart from the scene, it built just fine. So, there you go. I should have waited to turn the stream back on until this has finished building, but whatever. How's everyone doing? I figured it'd be done by the time I finally get to this part. There's the people in chat. Surprise, we're back. Just couldn't stay away. And sneaky Mike. So how's everyone doing while we just wait here? For how many people are even left in the chat? We're gonna make this.
I think around a third. Yeah.
That's So an item with the same key has already been added. That error that has been pointed out in chat there is exactly it. So that error is being caused by having two player-controlled carts in your scene. So just delete the one that you're not using, and that error goes away, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Yeah, this is like our Marvel Universe post-credits scene. So,
Mr. Mike, I don't feel so good.
Too soon. All right. This is taking a while to build, but
yeah, that happened to me too when I was trying to test.
Because now it's got all the machine learning stuff, so it has to rebuild those assemblies.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But at least you're able to hear me say what the problem is. If you have two carts with the same the player control scripts on it, and you're getting the error that's something along the lines of an item with the same key has already been added, and then it gives you a long hexadecimal string of a GUID, just delete the cart you're not using. Don't leave it disabled in your scene, which is what I did, thinking that was going to be okay. Just delete it. Because in the past, when I practice with this, I just deleted the cart, and today I thought we might go back to it, so I left it, and so there you go. So Mighty Mike to the rescue. Thank you. I like that. Mighty Mike. That feels like a superhero.
I always a preference of being able to see it, but that's entirely up to you.
Yeah, depends on how long it's going to take to build this WebGL here.
If you
want your
cancel,
own.
will it take long, or like?
It's variable at this point. It can take anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, because it's got the new WebGL stuff it's got to build.
Mine took about 5-10 minutes. So
yeah, so I've said it. At least that's the best we can do at this point. That should be good enough. It's pretty straightforward. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and end the stream. I'm making the decision there because who knows how long it's going to take to finish this build because it's doing all the WebGL stuff. So, all right. Thanks all still for even sticking around. And we'll say goodbye again. We won't all say it in our native language, though. I'll just say goodbye. Cheers.